I'm Rezlar.
I'm Frosty.
As nobody's really engaged quite yet.
Yep. Oh, there we have a bit of. Oh, was that a triple stun for the Mystake?
And welcome back to the Value Pack. And we're good to go. Alright, everybody. Welcome back from a very long break to another episode of the Value Pack. We are back from our week-long hiatus. Well, actually, I guess it would technically be 2 weeks. We were supposed to upload last weekend, or last Monday, actually, I suppose, but IRL stuff gets in the way. I had a wedding to attend, so we couldn't record over the weekend because I was very, very busy. And then we were planning on uploading on Wednesday, but some IRL stuff on Frosty's end came up, some work stuff came up, so we weren't able to make that happen either. So the earliest we were going to be able to get it up is like Thursday. And at that point, I was just like, yeah, screw it. We'll just skip it entirely and just move on to the next one. We got a very interesting podcast ahead of us here. We got a very special guest that we'll be introducing here in a bit. But if you can read titles, then you already know who it is. But, of course, as with every podcast we do, first and foremost, we got to get into the comments. We got YouTube comments, and then Frosty's going to do some Reddit comments, because he did post on Reddit the last episode that we did. But YouTube comes first. Austin Lassiter, iTex, Frosty, says, if you watch StarCraft esports, they sometimes have 3 people doing play-by-play. I think the reason for this is so that all 3 commentators get a break now and then from calling out exactly what is happening. You watch professional StarCraft, don't you, Frosty?
I do, but I watch the English streams, and 9 times out of 10, the English ones are 2 people. But I do notice, like, almost every one of the Korean ones is 3 casters.
Maybe it's because there's so much more going on when Koreans play StarCraft than...
They understand so much more, so they just need more people to analyze it.
Yeah,
Us idiots are like, they're attacking! They're heading north! They're attacking! So that's all the commentary we get.
Dude, I couldn't imagine trying to commentate StarCraft. That game is insane. Jeff M says, he quotes me as saying, yeah, but it isn't my account. Says, my dude, I love listening to you guys. Pulls out Meat Scepter. Frosty?
Yeah, thank you. I don't know what the Meat Scepter is still, but I appreciate the kind word.
Still no comment on the Meat Scepter. He'll acknowledge you one day, Jeff, I'm sure. Rhino? I don't know how to say that, but he says, as far as I know, Ibra, or however his name is spelled, is an EU player. For when you talked about the BSL Week 1 NA groups. I think he's talking about that EU guy in the NA bracket.
He's the Mystake, yeah.
Yeah, he decided to go NA just to troll all the NA players.
Just to troll, yeah.
Jeff M again says, next podcast should just be Frosty coming up with punny names.
Dude, I was so proud of that.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Do you remember the name for the warrior fatality? Oh, so good.
It was what was it again? It was like row
your boat gently till you scream. Dude, I was dying laughing because just your response after, like, is that just because I said paddle slap?
Yeah, it's such a leap in logic to connect those two. But hey, I guess wait, you're not a dad yet, are you?
Not yet, but I'm practicing.
God, he's only gonna get stronger. Nom Nom's Fatty Kitty says, okay, quick question. Can you explain if DP is a viable build, and why is it or why is it not? I want to be a tanky class, but always see reasons against it. Can you please elaborate? Either way, thanks, love the show. Well, we can talk about that later today. Not right now. We could add that in. This is kind of last minute, but we could add that in because we have somebody who is fairly knowledgeable on that sort of stuff here.
On DP me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just to give a general response here, like, it's just because AP has so much value in, like, large scale node war, so it's hard, but there's cases.
Yeah. Add that somewhere towards the end, Frosty. Add that somewhere towards the end. DP viability to our list of things we got to talk about. Both Scrab and Shabafa say activate your windows. No, I refuse. I like my watermark. Thank you very much. Tell you what, at 1,000 subscribers, the 1,000 subscriber special will be me activating Windows. That's what we'll do. Small Dick Stole Your Girl says, I always thought they should do a 10 versus 10 and randomize the game mode from things we know like Capture the Flag, Team Deathmatch, Domination King of the Hill, and give Shadow Arena rewards or something better. Like you said, more PvP options so we can have fun while we get geared. Yeah, absolutely, that would be awesome. Just more PvP avenues in general, I think, is what almost everybody wants. Like, pretty much everybody who's not a life skilling. I'm not going to say the second part of that, but you know what I'm saying. The Shepherd 112.
I was going to say objective-based PvP on a smaller scale than Node War and Siege would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. The Shepherd 112 says, have you thought about Filthy Fish for a Musa to have on the show? He's apparently pretty good and pretty geared. Frosty, you like Filthy Fish, don't you?
I actually have no opinion one way or the other. I just, I have to fight him a lot on Arsha. That's all I know of him. He's at Arsha Mansions quite a bit.
I'm pretty sure that's not what you said last time.
What did I say last time? He doesn't like when I use 100% or when I ebuff. I know that.
I would love to have Filthy Fish on. He is he's a well-known member of the community. He's a pretty good Musa. He used to play Warrior too, so I'd like to talk to him about Warrior and why he swapped over to Musa. That way me and him can circle jerk in a corner while Frosty just complains the whole time.
Oh, what would I complain about? Warriors are busted right now?
I don't even know how to pronounce this name. This is some, like, Arab shit. I'm gonna post this one on the screen right there so everybody can see what it is, cause, yeah, I'm not even gonna attempt to say what that is. He says, spot taken first. Congrats, dude. Not Piotr says, I hate you. Love you too, baby. Skylar C has 2 comments here. The first of which says, what's your opinion on Manchwans versus Achman for me? I'm 240, 310 with Tech Kudum Archer. Also, why no Archer in BSL? There are Archers in BSL, and they perform extremely well. Also, apparently Archer is godlike in Achman, so go do that.
Yeah. I mean, I think just Manchun's more efficient because of how quickly you can kill them versus how quickly you can kill. But 240, what was it? 245 with Kudum?
240 with Tech Kudum.
240? You're like just below where Achman starts getting good. I mean, maybe Archer's an exception. I know Archers are really, really good there, but I feel like you're like just short. You just need that easy Ted Ogre real quick and you'll be good to go.
Easy Ted Ogre. Skylar C also says, what's your opinion on Archer in PvE, 1v1s, and group PvP compared to other classes? Also, how do you feel about Musa and DK? Archer is very powerful all around right now. There's nothing that they really particularly suck at, honestly. Musa is pretty good at PvE. They're okay in Siege. They fill a very specific role, and that's pretty much all they can do. And in 1v1s, they're okay, very high skill floor. DK's very similar position, although I don't think they're as good in PvE as Musa.
I think high skill ceiling, too.
No, I meant floor and ceiling.
Okay.
Like, to be a good Musa in 1v1s, I feel like you can't be, like, the brain-dead PvE Musa that only knows how to blow the belt and then, like, Crust Crusher. Like, you actually have to know how to do things.
Yep, and yeah, I agree with Archer. I think Archer's actually really... It's hard to get used to in 1v1, but once you do, the good Archers are really, really hard to fight. I actually think they're hard to fight for just about every class. Maybe Zerker's an exception, but I've recently been hearing Zerkers more and more saying it's getting harder. Now that Archers are figuring out the matchup, so... Yeah, Archers are good.
Well, and the thing about Archer, too, is that So, I mean, you could argue it's the same for every class, but I feel like it's even more for Archer. Once they start getting into that insane amount of AP, there's nothing you can do about them, right? Because, like, if you're fighting an Archer at soft cap and you can, like, you abuse a block, right? Then that matchup is fairly easy. I mean, it's still a very skill-based matchup, but it's definitely a doable thing. once you start finding archers like Cinny that have like 281 AP and that literally blow up your block in like 3 hits, it becomes infinitely more difficult. So it's yeah, that's a rough one. But that's it for the YouTube comments. Thanks everybody for leaving a comment. Make sure to leave one on this video as well to keep the conversation going. Frosty, you got some Reddit comments you wanted to read.
I do. Let me pull these up. It's just a couple quickies here. One of them I think devolved into a fight that we don't need to get into. And yeah, actually, yeah, no, we won't get it. All right. Here we go. So someone said, I enjoyed watching, or sorry, this is Micah Plays Games. He says, I enjoyed watching the BSL tourney. I think my only gripe about it is that DP/hybrid sets were allowed. It may just be me, but I would prefer if they made it so to where you could only use AP set and you weren't allowed to use the Arsha set that gave 90% knockdown resist. If we're using equalized gear, I think it should be made to where both people have to use the AP set, or maybe even declare what you were using beforehand or something like that. I think one clear match that showed this was Riven versus Layvan. Riven got like 5 CCs and Layvan was just able to get up, put in more bursts from his CCs because of Ninja's kit being superior in damage. Not trying to bag on Layvan, he's a cool dude and a good ninja. That was in parentheses. I still enjoyed the fights, and the tourney and the shoutcasters did a great job.
So my take on this is I agree 1000%. But there's absolutely no way for the BSL to control builds.
It's so hard, yeah. It's really, really hard.
Because people can just lie. So yeah. There's nothing they can do about it.
Unless there was like the only thing I could think of is if the developers added some like tag system that goes above their head as a title. So it says kind of like what setup they're using, or shows their APDP in some way.
But like
in a stat screen.
So after the very first week of the BSL, if you were in the BSL Discord, it was just like nothing but complaints about DP builds and why don't you guys do this and why don't you guys do that, and it was all fixes based on the idea that Cacao was able to do something about it. They're not. Like,
yeah.
Aside from giving Dr. Positive and the BSL crew 200,000 Cacao cash or whatever, like they have nothing to do with the tournament. They don't do anything. They have like a couple Cacao staff helping run it. But yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think it would be beneficial for PA and in general just to add like if the moderators or the hosts of Arsha can see each player's gear like just in the Arsha menus and screen. That could help. And it'd be interesting just to talk about, for so you guys don't have to guess. Like when you're casting with Dr. Positive, having to guess what set they're using is also kind of meh.
Yeah, it's kind of it's hard to tell, especially with the differences in classes, right? Because a ninja with a hybrid or a DP build is going to be able to put out a lot more DPS than a Mystake with a hybrid or a DP build. It's just kind of how things are.
Right.
Anyway, you got more?
All right. Yeah, so moving on. Dr. Positive commented on the post, said, thanks to Rezlar for guest casting such an insanely long event, referring to the first time you cast with him. So there's that.
That was painful.
Yeah. Pandemic Comanche said, I sincerely enjoy your podcast. Thanks very much. Keep up the good work. Little Dancing Man, who's a regular commenter. I don't know if he commented on YouTube too, but he said, awesome value pack makes my Monday's commute so enjoyable. Keep it up. And then someone asked me, Fat Astronaut said, what's your in-game name? Curious as there are some pretty toxic Frosties out there. And I said, I am the most toxic, same as Reddit name, though I've not had trouble with Vexus members because this person has a Vexus tag or whatever. So hopefully it wasn't me, but I can be toxic. They said it wasn't me. So I'm good. I'm not an asshole. And yeah, that's all I read it. I mean, there was people that were arguing a little bit about the BSL thing, but it's too long to kind of go over. So yeah,
just skip past that. But thanks everybody for commenting on the Reddit post as well. Frosty, I don't know, did you plan on making another one, or are you just gonna skip this one?
I was gonna do every 2 weeks, and since we didn't have a podcast last week, maybe I could put up another one this week.
If you want to go for it, man, you go for it. Don't get banned.
Yeah, risk it for the biscuit. I don't want to. I could end up in jail.
Yeah, don't incur the wrath of the mods.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for comments. Well, not totally it, but that's generally it. Speaking. I can't talk today. English is a hard language. I'm in the middle of Spanish homework. Listen, language is a fickle thing. We have a very special guest today. You guys, a couple of you guys, a good amount of you guys, rather, have been asking us to, have him on for a while now, and I just messaged him on a whim last night, and he agreed to come on this morning, so give a big thanks to, Layvan, everybody. Layvan, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, anytime. I always enjoy doing stuff like this.
Yeah, man.
All right.
It's very, like, every time I ask people to come on the show, they're always very suspicious. Like, everybody thinks it's, like, some, like I asked McCanns a while back to come on the show, and he was very, like, touchy-feely. He's like, I don't know if I want to go, because, like, he thought I was, like, setting him up. Dude, it's just, like, super casual, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We're just here to talk shit, you know, jack
We're
off, whatever
we're here to
doing.
rail on you and shit all over you in the class you play. No,
Line, bro.
yeah. Let's do the obligatory Layvan. How long you been playing BDO? What class do you play? And tell us a little bit about yourself, I guess.
I've been playing since Conqueror's package release, but there's been like breaks between because like things like military duty and whatnot. So like sometimes I'll go away for a couple months, or like maybe slightly longer or lesser. And I play Ninja. I actually, when I started the game a couple years ago, Ninja wasn't out yet, so I played Ranger, and was in a siege guild called Veritas. And then Ninja came out, rerolled that literally day one, and then played Ninja ever since its release. And I'm also, I think at level like 58, at like 420 gear score, decided to like go red, and has been red ever since with no breaks, no blue ever, and now I'm 50% into 61. So, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
God.
man. So I see here you wanted to touch on the whole DP thing in the BSL as somebody who is utilizing the different gear that is in the BSL in the tournaments that you are also participating in.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts on having like the idea of like, well, it should be truly equalized, everybody should be using the same gear, i.e. like an AP accuracy build?
So it's definitely difficult because variety is always fun. I think that's what makes the open world PvP kind of fun, is because of all the different types of variety that you can run for the most part, with AP obviously being the master race. The biggest thing I wanted to touch on though is like, I think the reason why people are so like pissy and shitty and all this stuff is because everybody is guessing. Kind of what Frosty touched on. Nobody actually knows what gear anybody is running. Like, they just have no idea. Like, a lot of people are like, well, Layvan's running like full DP. Like, almost, I'd say 90% of my fights, I was at like 310 DP. And which is like
Right.
by no means. That's literally like, I think balance earrings and the like balance offhand, and then maybe I'll swap on and off the belt if I want to in AP and DP. Like, by no means. And it's really the biggest thing was like some people opt out of using the accuracy glove. It depends on your opponent's build how tanky you're going to be as well. Like if I run mostly the evasion pieces and my opponent decides to run like the evasion gloves rather than the accuracy gloves or shit like that, where they decide to run the AP offhand instead of the balance offhand for like that ignore resist, like it's gonna show as well. So it's not always about one person's build; it's about what both people are running and how it clashes together. So I think that if we did like if it did a BSL and people bare minimum like said they're like AP and DP or something like that, then at least we could like actually argue it. But as of like right now, it's all fake arguments because literally nobody knows.
Right.
You're all arguing over like fakes that doesn't actually exist because it's not real knowledge. Like, it's very obvious, like people like April Rain or like, you know, certain tamers or whatever, who are running like legit full DP to like run out fights. Like, that's bullshit. Like, obviously nobody fucking wants to watch that. Like, there's rules in, I don't mean to be on a soapbox here, but there's like rules in like if you watch MMA or like UFC where like avoiding fighting completely will get you disqualified immediately. You know, like running into the back areas You know, like there's definitely some shitty antics that for sure should be stopped, like full DP and stuff like that. But I think there should be like a little bit more clear just what builds people are using, so there could actually be like debates and discussions.
Right. Yeah, it would be cool if you could like. I mean, who knows how you do it logistically because of the time it would take, but to submit your
Mhm.
build before each round, kind of like in this is so nerdy, but like a Magic tournament, you basically have to say what deck you're using. So that would be
Mhm.
kind of interesting. And then if you lose, you can change decks or whatever, or like Hearthstone tournaments. That would be interesting. Like, well, in this one, I'm running hybrid or whatever, even if it was like somewhat vague. And then the other thing is too is like when I hear like Rezlar Dr. Positive, like it sucks for them because one, like Rezlar said, people are so toxic, right? When you have any opinion on anything, people are really toxic. And the fact that they don't get to know what builds the people they're casting are running means they have to guess. And oftentimes they're going to be wrong, and it just makes them look bad and adds more fuel to people talking shit. So, yeah, there needs to be some sort of system that lets people see that isn't too tedious. It would be kind of nice. It would help a lot. But I'm 100% convinced yesterday you had at least 400 DP.
God fucking damn it.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
I mean that's yeah, and I get that with the Riven fight too. I've watched Riven fight. I've never actually fought him. So like before that very first round, I was like, I'm gonna throw. I think I had like 330 DP or so because he was still chunking me decently. And he was like, yeah, comboing my fucking face off. But the second that like I kind of understood what he does, I went straight, just full AP, so I could blow him up for the most part.
Yeah. So this negative karma life, this one's kind of interesting to me because when you're completely negative karma, traveling around is kind of tedious. And I remember you had a video you released, God, like a year ago that I randomly saw. It just popped up in my YouTube as like one of the recommended things. And I'm pretty sure it was like a day in the life of a red player or something. It was like a 20-minute long video, and you're going around, you're talking about it. One of the things that I loved about the videos, it kind of reminded me of like an episode of Cops or Reno 911, how you're just like narrating the day. You know, like, yeah, so we're going to pull up here and see what happens. Oh, this guy looks like he wants to fight, so I'm going to go ahead and put on my DP set just in case. You know, it's like kind of interesting. But how tedious is that? I mean, it seems like, I don't know, like a lot of work to do the most simple shit if you're negative red. And why is it worth it for you? I guess.
So I guess at first, yeah, like without a doubt, it was like hella tedious, very, 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 very tedious, and extremely dangerous because I was such a low level when I started and everything like that. But I think it helped me a lot as a PvPer because if I went anywhere, I was instantly like challenged and I was forced to improve, I guess, because a lot of the things, I mean, people you generally see red and they attack, for the most part, out of either curiosity or like whatever their reason may be. And my reason for doing it at the time was that's when I like kind of first started my guild. So, about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now. And I wanted to help out people at like grind spots and shit, for getting karma bombed and whatnot. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna like go red, stay red. I like the challenge. I enjoy the challenge. I can help the people around me. I think karma bombing is dumb. I understand why people do it. I can see both sides of the fence. But if you want a karma bomb, I can be red. You know what I mean? So it's like, and so I kind of chose to just take on that life, and it kind of gets less tedious. I don't know if it's less tedious, rather is the word for it, but you kind of get used to it, I guess, over time, because I kind of have like a different view on it now, just because I've been doing it for so long. Shit becomes like second nature for the most part, like never really being AFK or like understanding where all the guard spawns are, or like noticing if somebody's looking at you in a safe zone, repairing your gear, just shit like that. I don't know. It becomes kind of like second nature, but it takes like a really long time to get to that point, I think.
I find it interesting how you talk about the fact that like you don't care if people karma bomb, you understand it, but then you can like kill them. It's so interesting how many karma bombers see like, I have a right to karma bomb, you don't have the right to kill me. Like, there's like some weird disconnect there when it comes to Karma Bombers that's so strange that I've never understood, honestly.
Mm-hmm. No, the biggest thing for me too is like time. Like I think being red, you see like the true side of people, honestly, because it's like there'll be people. There's like two different kinds of people. There's people who go into your spot, you kill them like 3 times, 4 times, and they're like, yeah, good shit. I don't have time for this. Yeah, here's the zone, and they leave. They're like, I lost. I don't have as much gear. Your gear carried, or you're a better PvP, or whatever they want to, whatever their poison. And then they change channels and move on. But then you have people that are like, man, I'm going to come back forever. I will die in this grind spot IRL before I leave. And you're like, holy shit. Okay, dude. Like, so.
Yeah, it's Karma Bombers.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I've always found that so strange. I don't understand in general how, I don't get why people get so upset when they're killed in this game. Nothing happens when you die. Like, maybe this is because I'm an older player. I played at launch back when you used to lose XP when you got killed in PvP.
Yes.
So, like,
amazing.
now when people complain, like, oh, you killed me, I'm like, yeah, so what? That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, literally nothing happens.
Right.
That's not even exaggerating. Like, literally nothing.
I think, though, that the game, everyone looks at themselves as, like, seriously, everyone thinks they're good at this game. I mean, obviously, everyone is a blanket statement, but there's a lot of people in higher end grind spots, like people that have been playing for a long time, obviously care about the game enough to, like, they PvP, they node war, all that. So there is an aspect of, like, everyone thinks that they're the best at what they do. So when you kill someone, you take that from them. And if you kill them again, you take it even more. And it's like, then they just get frustrated and they want to blame everything else and make you pay for what you've done. Like, I know there's like that aspect, even though you don't lose anything in game. Well, except at like history where you still end up losing crystals. God damn it. But, yeah, I think people just get frustrated because they don't want to, they want to blame either it's Cacao's fault they're losing because a class is OP or you're cheesing them or whatever. I don't know. So people just get frustrated. And especially if you have nothing to blame, some of these people get even more mad. Because then it's their own fault. And they just feel, I don't know, you just take something from them, You take their god status away from them.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
People just need to, like, I lose all the, especially when I first went red, I fucking lost all the time. I had to run away all the time. Like, like the amount of times I had to just be like, yep, fuck it, I'm out, you're better, like a million times. And then I just finally gotten to the point where now sometimes I can carry myself over to and take the grind spot and I can actually win. And it's like a really like humbling and amazing feeling that, I mean, everybody used to be in their shoes. If like you beat somebody, like you used to lose too. I think people just forget there's always two sides of the fence and it's not a big fucking deal. And it's not personal either,
Right. So I have 2 questions. One, have you ever had gear degraded?
Not yet.
Never
No.
had gear degraded. So you're talking, you've been red for what, a year and a half, 2 years?
Over 2, yeah, 2 years or a little bit over.
2 years, no degraded gear. Do you have good crystals in your gear at all now at this point?
Fuck no.
No?
I just can't do it. I'm a little bit lazy right now in terms of how I handle myself, because I kind of can afford to be, I guess. But I think once I hit 62, which isn't 50%, and then I get a few more really solid enhancements, I'll start probably opting for Hooms and better gear. I actually have a sheet. This is kind of the reason why I like how we're using trial characters in Arsha now, because I have a sheet of like all the stats that I'm missing out on for having poor crystals. Excuse me. Let me get it to you guys really quick. It's pretty interesting. Here it is. So, for the viewers, I'll push it out real quick. So, because I'm red and I really can't put nice crystals in my gear, because of the possibility of me dying and them breaking. I'm missing out on a round, and this is roughly depending on what I want to throw in. but around 72 accuracy, 2 attack speed, 4 movement speed, 20% ignore resist, all resistance 7%, 870 HP, 10 AP, 13 DP, 8 evasion, 150 stamina, 40 LT, and then 6 combo damage. And that is with Whooms. That's if I decided to run Whooms. Those are all the stats that I'm currently missing out on, roughly. So it's quite a bit. It adds up, especially if you're fighting like endgame players.
Yeah, for sure.
So what is your because I know it's kind of like you're saying you're only 50% to 62. I imagine that's partially because you don't really like grinding for EXP, and also because you get interrupted a lot, I imagine, right? Well,
Yeah, I kind of fucking hate grinding.
you hate
So
grinding. Okay, what's your gear like?
right now I actually just recently got Kudum, so I've been testing that. But in my DP set, and I have a DP set, I don't like not to fight. The literally like sole purpose of my DP set is just in case I get blindsided or to stay alive or to catch myself, because I don't think people really understand sometimes is like if I die, I lose experience and crystals, and there's just recently was a patch where I lose XP even if I tier, and I don't want to tier because that costs money obviously, so I don't want to die. So it's 175 AP and then 377 DP, and that's evasion based gear. That's just pure survivability, so I can like relax a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks. Blindside him with pen RCs.
Referring back to that earlier commenter who asked about the viability of DP builds, what are your thoughts on it as somebody with a build like that?
I mean, it depends on. I think you should play the game exactly how you want. So, like, you know, if AP is the meta, I mean, who fucking gives a shit? What matters is if you sit down on your computer, log in a BDO, and you have a good time. You know what I mean? So, like, if you're the type of person that enjoys DP builds and you want to be relevant, you can make it happen. You know, like, you could be... It also depends on what class, because some classes are just absolute shit with DP, you know, but, I mean, you could be like a DP Mystic and just absolutely destroy like front lines and infuriate people on large scale for the most part. You know, you wouldn't be able to kill anybody. You'd have to understand where you're going to be weak, you know, and you're not going to be able to 1v1. You're not going to be able to grind in endgame areas for good money. But if you have a good time with it, sure, I mean, you could make it viable to yourself, but don't expect to be like a jack of all trades or anything of that nature, you know.
So,
if that kind of makes sense.
Now, you've been playing this game for quite a while as well. You talked about playing before Ninja came out, so I'm assuming you've been playing basically, or since launch, or maybe not since launch, but very, very long time.
Yeah.
How are your thoughts on how, or what are your thoughts on how the karma system has changed? Because I mentioned earlier about how you used to like lose karma, or not karma, used to lose, Jesus Christ, EXP whenever you got killed by another player, and people hated the shit out of that. I personally, I actually preferred that system, even though I was not a beneficiary of it, because back in those days, I was not on top of the food chain, nor am I on top of the food chain now, but like, I actually preferred that system as opposed to what we have now, because there was risk involved to, like, being killed. Like, you couldn't just be like, oh, I'm being killed, oh well, just whatever, I don't really care that much. Because it was, like, actually a problem for you if you died.
Exactly. And this is something I'm, like, not a lot of people remember this. I'm, like, kind of psyched you brought it up, because it's something I'm, like, hella passionate about. And again, I can see both sides of the fence. So, I love that you lost experience, no matter what your karma was. You lost more if you were red, obviously, but you lost experience no matter what your karma was, because, like, a good example is Sawsons was, like, the, you know, the end game spot back then, you know, and there was, like, the #1 growth person on the channel was there, you run up, and you're able to kill him. Okay, they might come back one more time to contest you. Like, okay, I see you. They come back. They lose again. You bet your ass they are not coming back. You bet your ass. Like, they are out of there because they're not about to lose more experience. You know, like, good shit, spot's yours. And there's 36 other channels they can swap to. You know what I mean? Like, GG's, good fights, I lost. And there's no, if they want to keep coming back, sure, but it's going to fucking cost them rather than just hitting the respawn button. And that was an amazing feeling. And there was a very clear winner at grind spots. And also GVGs were more prevalent then too, because you wanted to get that GVG out because it meant you wouldn't lose experience if you died. They got rid of it because it was a really troublesome thing for new players to get into the game, because they would just like, be at a grind spot and then a higher end player would swing by, slaughter them in an instant. Congratulations, you just lost 2%. I get that. That's kind of shitty if you're new and you're like, holy fuck, I'm never going to progress. So like, I think one thing that would be really cool if they introduced it was, and that's how Karma Bombing became a thing, is when they got rid of it. And it turned a lot of hardcore PvPers off the game. But I think that they should make it where if you reach hard cap, so like level 61 or 62, you now lose experience if you die, no matter your karma. I think that'd be really cool, because then endgame spots you could actually like contest. You could actually fight for it. PvP would be a lot more exciting. It'd get your heart racing. There'd be more adrenaline involved. There'd be clear winners. There'd be a lot less toxicity, honestly. I mean, maybe not in DMs. There'd probably be more toxicity in DMs, but there'd be less toxicity and like, griefing. There'd be less griefing, which nobody wins in griefing, honestly. And because you can fucking block people if they're DMing you and just erase their existence, from your life. And there'd be a lot less griefing. Like tree griefing is a big thing right now as well, which kind of sucks. So
I heard in
that'd be kinda
EU
interesting.
that it's actually gotten so bad. There's people actually taking not like less than 50 characters, level 49 and below characters to trees, demanding to leech, and then if the people there don't let them leech, that they'll actually spawn the trees and essentially grief the rotation, not by dying, but by spawning all of the shit there.
Well,
Yeah, that's shitty.
so I like the idea of what you're saying, where it doesn't punish new players and it would only punish higher end players. My question though is like, if that would really do anything, because I'm level 62 on my Mystic and on my Sork, and I don't care if I lose the XP. So I could just kill people and fight people in grief kind of forever, because I'm just going to go from 3% to 0 again. So would that be enough to even really demotivate people to, kill people? I don't know. Like, there's no risk for me if you don't care.
Right. No, I totally get
And
that.
I don't think a lot of people care to get... I mean, there are some, but I don't think too many people care to get to 63 for the most part.
No, you're 100% right with that. And the important thing with that is like, would I want it to be like more extreme? Sure, of course. But like, I'm a little bit biased in that area, obviously. So it's got to be kind of like introduced slowly, and that's why it shouldn't be that big of a deal at the same time, because you are blue karma. If you, like for you, you're like just 3% to 0%, you wouldn't care for the first while, but after a while it kind of starts to add up, because I was in the same boat. When I hit 61, I was like, fuck it, like, there's no way in fuck I'm grinding to... Pardon my language, by the way. I don't know if you guys care about that.
They're not an issue.
Okay, yeah. My mouth is absolutely fucking awful.
There's one listener, though, that can't listen at work now, but he'll be all right.
He'll have to listen to this one with headphones on.
For real, sorry. My bad. What the freak? Anyway, so... But, so basically... so it starts to add up, because I was in the same boat. I'm like, God, I am never grinding at 62, and like, I don't like grinding, so I'd be 62. I'd be like 10% at 62, and then I'd fall back down to 0%. Then I'd get to 5%. Then I'd fall back down to 0% again, and I'm like, eh. But then like the third time that happened, I'm kind of like, shit. Honestly, I'd be at like 30% by now, because grinding's like, you actually need a grind to make money in this game for the most part. Unless you're like a 300 IQ life skiller, which I actually do enjoy life skilling, but I'm not quite. I'm like 150 IQ life skiller. So it actually does start to add up, and eventually people would be like, yikes, I should actually probably be a little bit more careful now, to be honest, especially with like new content maybe coming out, and I think it would deter people in time. nonetheless. And with new content, it's definitely going to make people kind of look like, I should be hitting 63 relatively soon. Or maybe have it be you lose experience and like 1 crystal.
Yeah.
Like guaranteed no more than 1 crystal.
Yeah.
You know, like at least 1 crystal. People be like, fuck, I don't want to lose my Whom. You know, or shit, I don't want to lose my Jhin or something like that.
Or just
but they'd still kind of risk it.
You can incentivize people. Like, I mean, I guess it could be if you get to 0, then you can start losing crystals. So you have to go grind some EXP back to have some leeway.
Mm-hmm.
Then
that's a really good idea.
That'd be super harsh on someone who's 63. Can you imagine you already hit 63? Now it's like, oh my god, I have to grind for a month just so I don't lose a crystal to get to 0.01. Yeah, but that could be kind of cool. I like that. Or maybe you can go even more harsh, and once your EXP hits 0, then it starts taking your life skill EXP starting at trade.
Holy people would literally insta quit the game. I can hear it now.
It's like your trade level has gone down. You're now Master 1. It's like, oh, no.
Way to punish life skillers for all of our hard work. We don't even want to. Yeah, I know, dude. The Reddit post would be insane. Holy shit.
Yeah, I would like something. I mean, I don't know. I've always kind of hoped they would change the karma system in some way, like a timer or something, or like make it maybe almost one of the ideas I thought about, and I'm sure you can grief this, so it wouldn't really hold up, but it would be nice if like the first 3 times you kill someone, yeah, you lose your karma, same as now, but they go back to the node, and then if they die to the same person 3 times consecutively without decking or anything, then they start having to go all the way back to a main city.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought. Like, why doesn't it just for every time you die, let's say like every 2 times you get killed by somebody, it spawns you further and further away. Yeah. So like the first 2 times you die, you spawn at the closest node, and then the next time you die, you have to spawn at like the second closest node, and then the next time you die, it's like a nearby town, and then the next time it's like all the way to the capital. If you die 10 times in a row, you get taken to fucking Pirate Island or something. I don't know.
They could make it immersive too, you know, like please the RP community, because let's not kid ourselves. I mean, games also survive on the amount of fucking outfits those guys buy. So, I mean, they can make it immersive and like, you know, you spawn in a fucking like a hospital or something, you know, and like you have to pay like a doctor or a nurse like 100k silver because you're gravely injured and you've died 5 times out in the open world.
Yeah,
you know, which is like a ridiculous amount.
You have to spawn at a Poke Center.
Yeah, yeah. Have them be like Nurse Joys in every every city hospital.
A little Chansey comes and gives you an egg, and you have to eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something would be cool. The karma system right now, like, I don't know, man. I kind of hate it. I mean, we talked about this too before. Like, even with the desert, I don't know if you guys remember early on when you would first go into the desert, you'd get that message that said, "Be careful! Like, there are dangerous adventures out here." Like, I wish that were true, like, in the desert. Like, being in the desert was like being in Arsha. Like, everywhere in the desert was like Arsha server, I think would be really cool. Anyway, at this point.
What are your thoughts, as a Red player, what are your thoughts on, like, the desert? Because I know a lot of people, especially people that like going Red, but also just people like me in general that don't even play a lot in the desert, but think that the karma system's a little unfair, or a little unhappy with how the desert turned out in terms of like how it works with the current karma system.
I just think I think there's a massive lack in creativity, and I think there's even probably fighting going on in Pearl Abyss itself. Like, I don't think they can decide whether they want to be a true open world PvP game that's PvP oriented with a, you know, or a Care Bear, you know, happy fun time pals game where like there's decent combat or whatever, you know, like they're like pulling back and forth on like what they want to be. Cause like with the desert, there's just no reason to be Red in the game at all, honestly. Like, there's legitimately no reason unless you just enjoy the challenge, and, like, that's it. There's no real reason. The only thing in the entire game where you quote-unquote benefit from being Red is in the Red Town. There's a quest you can complete where if you kill 3 positive karma adventurers, then it gives you a 30% experience boost for 90 minutes. But it activates the second you complete it in the Red Town, which is all the way by Piliku Jail. So, I mean, unless you're like going to Fogans or like basically just Fogans, honestly, you're getting like shit experience wherever you're gonna grind anyway. It's just not like a big deal, you know. So there's just no reason whatsoever. So I think one thing they could do to kind of like fix that or combat that would be like, it's cool that like the desert's like dangerous area for like bandits and stuff. I mean, all right, fine. What they should do is they should add like in every city, like an area you can go if you're negative karma, like in the cities even, where like you have to go through a safe zone in order to get to it, like an inn inside of Heidel, or like the sewers in like Calpheon, or like the treetops in Old Wisdom Tree or some bullshit like that. Because like you would have to like travel through positive karma area to get to it, so you're still like in grave danger. Positive karmas can like camp even if they want to. Make sure no negative karma players are trying to utilize it or something, or that would create a lot more interesting gameplay, and there'd be more reason to leave the desert if you are negative karma rather than just like shove you out there for like no reason, I guess. I don't know if I'm coming across well there, but yeah, it's a thought.
Yeah, I feel you. They definitely, I feel like the desert, because I remember when the desert like was first coming to NAEU, and like everyone was super hyped for it, and then it just kind of ended up being like, I mean, more grind spots, which was not what it was being hyped up to be. So it was like super disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember whenever the desert was first announced, I think, it was like at the very start of the game, right? And my guild Oblivion, like my GM was super like excited for it, and he was being a total nerd about it. He was like, dude, there's a bandit town called Muquin, and we're gonna become a bandit guild, and we're all gonna sit in the desert and like just become like a fucking PK like PvP guild. It's gonna be fucking awesome. He's like freaking out about it, And when it came out, he was like so depressed. He was like, this is so lame. It's like the exact same, except now you get sent to jail whenever you kill somebody. He was like, what the heck? I thought there wasn't supposed to be any punishments for killing people. He was really upset.
And the positive karma players don't. So it's like, they literally they almost made it worse for negative karma players introducing jail because
the jail is so backwards. It triggers me so much. It's completely opposite. Jail should be in everywhere else except for the desert. The desert should be like the outlaw place where like you can get away with horrible things. It's great. Yeah, it makes no sense to me.
It doesn't. Like the thing with it is like positive karma players. All right, there's 2 people out of the grind spot. 1 negative karma, 1 positive karma. The negative player kills the positive karma player. Let's make it extreme, okay? 30 times. All right, their grind spot is fucked. The positive karma player just keeps coming back. They can spawn an infinite amount of times and always come. And then the negative karma player, because they're in the desert, they're like go AFK for 2 seconds, or they like gravely misplay, or their gear breaks or something. All right, and the positive player karma gets 1 lucky kill, or they get ganged up on, like just 1 lucky kill. Boom, negative karma player in the desert, out of there, gone, like somewhere else. What?
Yeah.
Like that makes no sense.
Yeah, I always thought, like Frosty was saying, how it's backwards. I feel like it would make a lot more sense for it to be like, let's say you're in trees and like you get like negative 500k, like you truly like you went all out and like fucked some people up, and then you got killed by a positive karma player. It would make sense to slap your ass, like theoretically in the situation where we're deeming that player as evil, although I don't necessarily believe that's true. In that sense, It makes sense to say, okay, you were all the way at trees, congrats, now you're in the desert, bitch. Have fun.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Like, that makes more sense to me personally than, like, if you're out in the open world, we don't really care, but if you're in the desert, we're gonna, like, make it a little inconvenient and make it take, like, 5 minutes for you to get back to the spot and keep doing what you were doing. Like, again, and I personally don't agree with the idea of, like, red players equals evil, because, like, it's all very situational. Like, karma bombing and everything is a very situational like thing that happens. Like for some reason when I talk about like I'll go on Reddit and say like if you intentionally karma bomb, you're a fucking scumbag. And then people are like, oh, well, you know, I was grinding there and this dude came up and started killing me. And what am I supposed to do? Just leave? And I'm like, well, yeah, because, like, he's better than you. So you lost the spot because you lost the fight. That's like, again, maybe this is because I'm from back in the day, but that's how things were back in the day. And that's a fair way to do it, in my mind at least. And if you want to get some of your friends and you want to bring your friends back and beat up on that dude and push him out of the spot, then go for it. But, like, whoever's winning the fight is winning the spot. That's generally speaking how it should go. Now, there are some, like, circumstances where, like, people are being a dick, and I'll say, like, yeah, like, I could understand it. Like, if somebody comes up to a spot and just starts grinding mobs on top of you, and you're like, hey, like, can you leave, like, I'm burning, like, a 200, and then they're like, oh, well, you know, I was here first, they start bullshitting you, and it's like, that's another very specific, like, circumstance where, like, things get, like, a little weird, and, like, how people don't see it. People always think it's a very straightforward thing, karma bombing, but there's a lot of different scenarios that happen. I don't know. Karma bombing's weird, and I wish it wasn't a thing in general. People should just be able to kill people, TBH.
Yeah, I mean, there just needs, it's such a gray thing. I think there just needs to be a clear winner in time, a winner and a loser. That's how life is. That's literally 110% what life is. Winners and you win, you lose, and everybody wins and loses. There's never a full-time winner, and there's never really a full-time loser, you know. But winning and losing is a daily thing. So if you want to come back 10 times, fine. The 11th time, fuck you. You've lost. Okay, you've lost. If you want to be red and you die, you took that chance. You've lost. You lose stuff. You know, there can be like a different balance of how easy it is to win and lose, but as long as there's like at least like an end game, I think people would be more on the same page. There'd be a less gray area between, is this a good karma bomb or bad karma bomb? Is this a good red player or a bad red player? Blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I also wanted to ask you in terms of like the like how because I've always wondered this. How does being, because I've heard mixed like I've heard people say mixed things. Whenever you're red, do guild war decks affect you in any way other than normal?
No.
Okay,
war decks,
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
But I've always heard like conflicting arguments. So, and then whenever you're red, you on Arsha, it still works the exact same, right? In terms of the desert, rather, I should have specified. Like you still get sent to jail if you're red on Arsha, right?
No, on Arsha, you do not get sent to jail anymore.
Oh, really?
That changed. Yeah, that changed like 2 to 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Maybe even 4.
Okay, that's good, because that was I remembered that being a thing, or at least I thought I did. And I remember being like, that's kind of retarded. That beats the point of Arsha.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
Wait, to clarify real quick what you meant, but because you said, does it affect you in a way that's normal, or what? Like it was. So when you're in a GVG, it's almost as if you're not negative karma, right? If you're just fighting people from the
Pretty
opposing
much.
guild. Okay.
It's still really dangerous for me because like if I'm in a GVG in like a relatively high traffic area, it sucks dick because like I'll be fighting. It'll be like 20 versus 20, right? And I'm like having a blast.
Right.
Some random ass, Joe Schmo from, Guild A comes swinging around, sees that I'm red, can fly in, doesn't have to flag, because I'm red, flies in, gets the last hit, boom, I lose experience and crystals. I'm like, fuck. So it's still really dangerous. But guild decks, if I am decked on you, then I don't lose anything if I die.
Okay, interesting.
Got it. Node War, I
I
imagine, is the same thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but the second the Node War ends,
I piece the fuck out. Good fight, leave.
Concealment, escape, concealment, go.
I know we didn't plan on talking about this, and I don't know what we're looking at for time, but this might just end up being a longer podcast because there's a lot of things to talk about. We got an interesting person on today. What are your thoughts on, like, undeckable guilds? Because I have very strong opinions on that sort of stuff, and I was wondering if you, as a red player, if you feel... What are your thoughts on it?
I can understand if there's... This isn't meant to be toxic, I guess, but Perlevis is by far one of the most lazy coders and game developers I've ever seen in my entire life of gaming, for the most part. In terms of how much money, their publisher has, I understand Perlevis is like somewhat a new not that big of a company, but I mean getting published by Cacao. Anyway, the point is, like, I think there should be different conditions that makes your guild undeckable rather than just if you have a node or not. Because you can have some insanely geared players in your guild, but the guild is still undeckable because you don't have a node and the other guild does. Like, that's fucked. Like, that's not fair at all. So I do think it's kind of bullshit, the conditions at what makes a guild undeckable. Sure.
I actually think this one's super simple. Once you have enough skill points that you can, in your guild, like guild skill points, that you can get to level 5 of every single one of the battle stats, then you should be deckable, just forever. So, like, new guilds are protected because they're brand new and starting out. I get that. But then after you get to a certain number of guild points, you're no longer protectable, or you're no longer undeckable.
Yeah, I could go along with that for sure.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I just don't... I really hate the current system, as with a lot of things in this game. Because it doesn't even make a lot of sense itself. I remember when I had... Before I made a TBO, Frosty, you don't even know this, I don't think. I was the GM of a very, very small guild called Adapt. At our largest, we were like 40-something members, like 46, 48. And
there's a reason I don't know that. It's because now I know you killed a third guild. Nice.
Oh,
wow.
Shit.
So, and even when I was in that guild, and we didn't do Node Wars, like, it was a super casual, like, we just kind of hang out and do whatever type thing. I couldn't even, like, really figure out how the undeckable system worked. I think I kind of figured it out. It's something like, if you're an undeckable guild, you basically get, like, one free deck and still retain your undeckable status. But you can only slap that on other undeckable guilds. If you deck like a guild that owns a node, a deckable guild, so to speak, then you become deckable yourself. It's a very strange system, and the rules seem almost arbitrary, honestly.
Because I have it down. I know exactly how it works. Like, exactly how it works. That you're like close, but it's a little bit off. If you don't have any decks, if you don't have a node, you can literally deck anybody. Doesn't matter.
Right.
If you have an offensive declaration out, then anybody can deck you, period. That's all it is.
I don't think so, though, because I swear to God, whenever I was testing things out, and I was having people help me test things out in terms of how the guild decks worked, it was like, if I decked another undeckable guild, then I still retained my undeckable status for some reason.
I mean, it might have been like that back then, but as long as I was GM of Hex, it didn't work that way.
Maybe they changed it at some point, but
they might have changed it, but
either way, like, it's just so strange. The rules just, like, don't make a lot of sense, like a lot of other things in this game, and it's very, very confusing. And I agree with Layvan. Like, I understand the necessity for it, and like Frosty was saying, like, with his idea of having it be skill point based, guild skill point based. Like, you don't want new guilds getting griefed by, like, Black Rose or something. Like, I can understand that. Of course, if they are, if they're the ones throwing out the deck, then all the gloves come off. But, I can see that. But just the system as it is now is, like, so bad. Like, so objectively bad, but it hasn't been changed once. And, or maybe it has been changed once, or maybe I'm stupid. But either way, like, it's such simple shit that I just don't understand why it hasn't been fixed yet. And it bothers me a lot.
I wish they'd just experiment, to be completely honest. There's just, I feel like Perlevis think, this is how obviously I feel, like they are just gods sitting on thrones that know like just 200 IQ exactly what the fuck they want to do with this game, and everybody else is just a shriveling, snot-nosed idiot and has no idea, you know, like, and because like they could totally I feel like they don't take any advice from what the community wants, and they just throw shit out that doesn't make any sense. And I feel like they're just scared to experiment,
dude,
and try new things.
About? Everybody was begging for the wound system, and they gave it to us as soon as we asked for it.
Hey! After they edited the wound system, I actually really like the state it's in right now. I actually really
right now,
it.
yeah. Mm-hmm. I like the wound system.
Yeah, I like it. I actually think it's better with it in its current state, where you're not screwed for 10 minutes. You're only screwed for like a minute and a half. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's great for if you're finding somebody that does want to run a DP build. It's fantastic. You have the option to cast your 100% and deny them HP. And then you can E-buff directly after you do that and have an easier chance of killing them. Like, it's more variety and outplayability. I'm not saying that they've never done anything right, for sure. I just think that, I mean, they don't mind experimenting with, you know, I don't know, making the game more pay to win, however you personally describe pay to win is, which is a very personal thing. It's a subjective thing. But they're not afraid to experiment with that at all. But they're like, I feel like they're super scared to experiment. Like, sure, let's go ahead and make it to where if you're positive karma and you die 10 times and you spawn somewhere else, let's see what the community thinks, you know, or whatever. Just ask us.
Some of the things that suck with like these old systems, like the declaration system, is that I just feel like it's just not even on their mind anymore. Like, they're actually, maybe they would be willing to change it. It's just they haven't even thought about it or considered it. It's just so far, like, I mean, people were complaining about it 2 years ago, and eventually you just run out of, like, you're not going to complain, and now no one really talks about it. So it's not even a thing to consider, but because it seems like they only change stuff like, I mean, they'll take feedback. You can definitely see they've like taken feedback sometimes, but it's only like on a critical mass like type scale,
right?
Where everyone's in agreement on multiple servers across the world. Where it's like, something like that. Like, you submit a ticket, it's just they don't even know what you're talking about. Probably, they're like, I don't even know what system you're referring to. Let me look into this for you. And then they never do.
Right.
So I don't know. Stuff like that.
Well, that's a whole nother issue. That harkens back to the sweeping chimneys to get 500 energy type shit, where like the fucking people running the game don't even play the fucking game, and it's like, I don't know. This is starting to turn into a fuck PA, fuck cacao type thing, and we should probably get off.
Well, that's definitely not the case. We just care about it, you know. We play the game every fucking day. We love the game. Yeah. We just want to see it do well.
Yeah.
That's what I always try to explain to people when, like, because I'm a very critical person. I'm also a very like, I consider myself very real in that I look at things as they are, basically. So if I see negative shit, I'm going to call it out. If I see positive shit, I'll call that out too. But most of the time, I'm focusing on the negative because that's the shit that needs to change. Like, the positive things don't need to change, right? Like, you don't hear me complaining about, like, man, the combat sucks, like, we need to change the combat entirely, overhaul the system. Like, I'm not going to talk about the combat because the combat's fucking awesome. It's the best part of this game. What I will talk about is the karma system, the deck system, like wars, which I'm glad that they've been changing wars a little bit. I still think they haven't quite figured it out yet, but they're getting somewhere. I don't know if it's the right place, but like the things that people complain about, they're complaining about because that's the things that need to change, not necessarily because they hate the game. And that's especially an issue that people need to realize on places like Reddit, where little, like, mini Frosties run around on every post that suggests some sort of a change and go, well, if you don't like the game, then don't play. I'm joking, by the way, Frosty. That's not what you do. But that's what the White Knights on Reddit like to do.
Well, I have to defend myself and say the White Knights are the ones that are in scarce supply, not the complainers. I don't know what you're talking about.
But the White Knights, they do exist.
Well, you guys don't like your opinions? Challenge, dude. That's the problem with the complainers.
No, man, it's like I don't have an issue with you challenging my opinion, but I would like my opinion to be challenged with like another challenge, not just dismissed as complaints. Like, that's the most frustrating thing whenever you say, like, hey, this part of the game kind of sucks, it should be changed, and then you're met with, well, if you don't like it, then don't play it. It's like, oh, okay, then,
well, there
I
comes
guess.
see, for me, because I've definitely used a line like that before, but for me, it's more of like the, you've hated this game for 2 years, so what are you doing? At some point, it becomes a you problem. Like, if you can't accept that this isn't going to change after 2 years, like, what are you doing? Not you specifically. I'm just saying,
again,
like,
I don't
there's
think...
people on there. No, but like, there's people that don't even play, that are just sitting in the Reddit. Like, so that's kind of where.
Oh
some
yeah,
of that
those
stems
people
from.
are weird.
and dude, like, if you defend anything in this game, I'll tell you firsthand, you defend anything, you're just like, you're minus 17 points, bunch of downvotes. Everyone says you're trash. People like talk shit about you personally, like, oh, I've seen you in game. You're actually whatever. Whatever. It's the same. The same goes both ways. It's
People say whatever they want to get to make their side seem more legit or believable. Literally anything.
Dude, and the funny thing is, and I've been joking about this, but I'm actually serious when I say it. I used to think that the BDO Reddit was one of the most toxic Reddits I've ever been in, and then I went in the Division 2 Reddit and the Anthem Reddit, and BDO Reddit is such a breath of fresh air in comparison. It's insane.
Really? It's that bad?
Oh my god, it is toxic in there, dude. It is so toxic in these other Reddits. I can't even... It's insane. I've never seen anything like it.
Reddit's a very toxic place in general, let's just be honest, but, yeah, I don't know, like, I think that there's a line, right, that in the middle somewhere where I think most people sit, honestly, but the people that come out and talk about the game tend to be on, ooh, guild pay. Oh, that's not a lot of money. The people who tend to come out and talk about these things, like, they tend to be on the extremes. So
right,
I think
true.
that's
why
I
they're
think most people... Yeah, I think most people are sitting somewhere in the middle. But I think that both sides... And it sounds like I'm talking about politics, and maybe you can draw a connection there too if you like, but I think both sides, White Knights and complainers, need to take a step back and stop trying to, like, vilify the other side. And try and take a step back and see, like, where they're coming from, right? Because I know that, like, as a complainer myself, and I do consider myself a complainer, like, I'm not complaining because I hate the game, and I know you know this, Frosty, but, other people might not, people on Reddit might not, when they see me comment about these things. I'm not complaining because I hate the game. I'm not complaining because I want the game to fail. Some people might, and those people are weirdos. Why are they on the Reddit if they don't like the game? But it's like, I'm complaining because here's this part of this game. This part of this game, in my opinion, sucks ass, and it should change. And so I'm going to keep talking about it until either A, it's acknowledged by, the devs, or B, it's changed, because that's how you get things to change. But at the same time, there definitely are some people that take it too far, and that it doesn't come from a place of, I want this to change. It comes from a place of, like, you see those guys on Reddit where it's like, I haven't played the game for 3 months, but on my opinion, it's like, okay, dude, your opinion doesn't matter.
I love
you quit the game 3 months ago.
You see that too, like, you'll see one of those things that's like the little conspiracy connection with removing SA and then the artisan surprise thing, right? You saw that? And on Reddit recently, which is so funny to me just because the artisan surprise thing has come back like every 2 weeks for the last 7 months. But now it's like it's coming back because that. But whatever. But then you see someone come in the game or come on Reddit and it's like, LOL, this is why I haven't played in 3 years. And it's like, okay. It's so random. It's like, dude, can you imagine browsing a Reddit for a game you haven't played in 3 years? I just like, what a waste of time. I don't even know.
I know, like, I still come across, like, occasionally I'll be browsing the front page of Reddit and I'll see a League of Legends post and I'm like, holy shit, people still play that fucking game? It's like, I haven't thought about that game in years, dude. But,
League is, they had a finals yesterday. What are you talking
about? I know, everybody was talking about it. Apparently TSM choked again. Glad to see that still happens.
Wait, Liquid won?
Yeah, apparently.
Spoiler alert, that's funny. I don't even watch League, but I just listen to the team names and root for him based on the cool name.
I used to watch way back in the day, and TSM was known for choking, so glad to see nothing's changed. Anyway, we we gotta get on. We're taking entirely too long on this. We're very
That's what
passionate.
podcasts are for, though.
These are far.
Yeah.
All right, since we're in the theme of complaining, I just want to do one more. Let's just get this one complaint out. We're now going on. We're about to be in 10 months. We're like a week or two away. It'll be the 10-month anniversary of the sea areas coming out in Korea, the underwater grind spot. And I just want to say we're gonna hit a year. We're probably gonna hit a year before we get them. And the new areas don't have. There's one NPC in every area, maybe two. There's no life skilling stuff there. There's no new town associated with it. There's no new major city. There's no like real new quests outside of like daily grind quests or whatever. Why the hell is that taking an entire year to get to us?
It's a little bit scary, to be completely honest.
Well,
Because
Yeah.
go ahead, Layvan.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Layvan.
I was just saying it's a little bit. Thank you. I was just saying it's a little bit scary because, I mean, this game could do so well. Like it has the best combat in any MMO. Changed my mind.
It does.
If it like it has such a robust and could be an amazing RP scene if they made things a little bit more immersive or added more scenes to that because of the graphics and the housing and things of that nature. It has everything it needs. What are they doing? There's no content. Like, it's starving for content. And it's been so long. Like, what are they doing over there, honestly?
So,
I have no idea.
if I may, I'm going to put on my tinfoil fedora real quick.
All right.
I have said for years that the only time that this company, meaning Kakao/Prolibus, I guess these companies, this team, decide to release content to the West is when their shit's on fire. So they hold, because you see it almost every time. Not every time, granted, but almost every time that there's content released, there's new content being released to the West, it's directly after some big shit show that went on. Like,
Okay.
oh, we added pay-to-win elements? Here's Kama. Oh, people are upset because of this change that we made? Here's a new class. Like, it feels like, and again, this is my tinfoil fedora, it feels like a lot of the time, they're literally just holding the content because shit might hit the fan and they gotta have something to quell the anger of the player base, honestly.
Okay. Well, if that theory is to hold true, then where's our C areas? Because Shadow Arena's gone, the hacker ban waves, the falsely banning people. Where's our C area? These people sacrificed themselves for us.
I don't think that many people cared about Shadow Arena.
Okay.
Did that many people care about Shadow Arena?
It's not even necessarily that. I mean, yes, I do think a lot of people cared, but it wasn't like a critical mass of people, but it still looked horrible how it's like, well, we can't deal with these hackers by Shadow Arena. It definitely was a bad look, coupled with the falsely banned people. We're owed the C areas. That's our deal.
But see, you got a 20-day Kama blessing, Frosty. That was your compensation.
Yeah, and I'm using the
Duh.
shit out of it too. I got a duo Tungrad neck like 2 days ago, straight drop from Histria.
No, like, and this was also something that we kind of skipped over earlier, but I guess we could talk about it now. I'm unconvinced that the hackers were necessarily the reason that they closed Shadow Arena.
Yeah, I agree.
Honest to God, I think the main reason they closed it is because they realized, oh, we now have to balance 2 games, and we already suck at balancing one of them.
See,
Like,
you
dear
always
God Almighty.
You force me to White Knight, dude. It's those sentences that force me. I don't know how if you think about how difficult it is to balance 16 completely different characters with completely different skill sets. I actually think it's remarkable how close the balance is, considering how difficult it is to balance something like this. Am I crazy?
Well,
Layvan, am I crazy? Am I crazy with that sentence?
What, for saying that it's difficult?
Well, saying
for-
that I actually think the balance in its current state is actually remarkably good for how different every class is.
Oh,
And
yeah, it's the best it's ever been.
oh,
Except for
Rezlar's off the
Except for
podcast. You're
Warrior.
fired. Wait, what's wrong? Wait, what's wrong with Warrior in a good or a bad way?
I think they're really, really strong right now.
See, we need Layvan on more.
Great. Now Layvan and Frosty are going to start a new podcast without me.
I'm not going to get on this tangent, but I'm just saying, you know, some of the fastest, it's unprotected movement. It's also like some of the fastest movement in the game can be instantly stopped. Half their, I'm not even going to say half. I'm going to be really careful with what I say here because I'm going to, people are going to be lighting up the comments. And this,
I'm excited.
And this is my class. Everybody's class is the most difficult and worst class in the game when you fucking talk to somebody. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Calm down there, Frosty.
So it's like, I mean, they can cancel half their shit with Q. That gives them an amazing frontal guard and resistance to CC in the back. Shut the fuck up. That is super armor in the back. Don't even get me started. That is straight super armor in their back. And with just a greatsword, if Valkyries had that ability, where like 360-degree block, fine.
Wait, they do. Valk's the same. Valk's Q block's the same.
I know they do. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get that because their shield is the size of the Empire State Building, a fucking battleship. Fine.
Right,
but,
right. You're saying
Warrior is just a great sword.
Right.
Like, you should be unprotected in the back if you're holding Q as a warrior with how fast you can move, instant grapple, one of the best debuffs in the game, a ranged CC as well that does decent damage, amazing damage on your full combo, ground slam, which is a super armor CC as well.
I call it
AoE.
Voltaic Pulse Mini now.
It's just mini.
I don't want to get started on that though because that's not really what we're talking about.
I think you did though. You already did.
Small tangent.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
The only part you really lost me at was the not having the protection on the back like that. You could tell that's coming from a log jump player right there. Someone who likes to block jump. Up.
Oh, I wish. Well, to be fair, I would love for them to remove the stiffen on log jump. I think they should do that. 110%.
Yeah,
I think they should.
I would
rework.
love for them.
I can't wait to pitch you my idea for the reworked log jump.
God, let's hear it.
But
let's go. I want to hear it.
We'll get to that eventually.
Yeah,
I want to talk about. I want to talk about Warrior because I'm an ex-Warrior player.
All right.
And I find it interesting how, Layvan, you're saying. So do you think Warrior's the best 1v1 class in the game?
No, I think they are god tier. And it's really difficult to say what is the best 1v1
No, it's not Tamer.
because Tamer's amazing. Tamer's really great. They have an extended iframe. They have a trap that's an AoE. They have an entire kit plus a fucking pet. So I understand that. But at the same time, they're squishy as absolute fuck. So just it kind of depends on skill in most areas. I don't know. But the point what I was making is like they're definitely god tier, and I think that a good warrior should be able to they should have the easiest time beating anybody in the game, if that makes sense.
Okay. I do want to say also, because I also hear the unprotected movement thing, and I understand head chase is only an iframe when it's off cooldown, but that run dash thing is not unprotected. I don't know why warriors keep trying to convince people of that, but you have frontal guard during that entire animation.
Yeah.
And it's fast.
So fast, dude.
It's very fast. And when I was casting BSL last night in the fight of the warrior versus archer, in the middle of me talking about what he should do, he just ended up killing him anyway. But what I was trying to say was that he should have, when you're fighting an archer, you don't want to take the chip damage when you're trying to get to him, and Solar Flare is unprotected despite how quick it is. At a class like Archer that's constantly throwing out CCs the entire time you're coming at him, you can actually get CC'd out of Solar Flare quite easily. So what you should actually try to do is charging thrust into shield charge into a ground slam, because that's forward, both movement going forward, forward guard that is, and into a CC that is a super armor. Of course, as I was saying that, Caster's Curse, he just ends up killing him anyway, so he didn't even need the advice. Fuck me, I guess. But, yeah, like, I think Warriors undersell themselves a lot. And that's what I really wanted to talk about. It's like, Warrior, we're not going to get too much into the balance of Warrior, but, man, Warrior's okay in 1v1s. If you want to complain a little bit in large scale, I'll give you a little bit in large scale, because I feel like the class is a little bit more restricted than it used to be. It's not as fun as it used to be. I'll give you a little bit of leeway on the complaining in large scale, but in 1v1 and small scale, man, Warrior is doing fantastic. I really don't get the complaining, honestly.
Yeah, and I actually, I don't
all.
agree that, I mean, like, I don't feel like Warrior's busted, personally. I just think that it's really good, and I don't think that they deserve the handicap that some other classes get for being bad, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't say busted, but I would absolutely say God tier.
That's the same thing. What do you mean?
Well, alright, so...
I would say, well, there's other classes that are on the same tier is what I'm saying. Like, God tier, aka top tier.
So,
sorry. So, like...
Yeah, okay. So where do you... Alright, there's two classes I'm kind of curious, your opinion on here. One, the one you play. Where do you put Ninja? How's Ninja balanced these days?
Yeah, this is...
Blade spin
This
and
is
all
how we're
that?
going to judge you.
Top tier.
Okay, so you still think it's top tier. And when you... So 1v1, small scale, top tier. What about in Node War and Siege?
Node War, I'd say upper middle tier or lower top tier. Depending on gear. Like, it's really difficult because gear matters on how relevant your class is in large scale. Mm-hmm. The 50% BSR on our Katana Shower instantly... Well, with the nerf on Blade Spin, we're like, okay, our large scale's pretty shit right now. We're like back to like day one Ninja and large scale where like nobody's like, oh, you're a Ninja, get the fuck out of our guild. Like, you're useless.
Right.
Unless you have like God AP. And then we had things like, the Katana Shower, and we were really good large scale for the most part. And then we got the Blade Spin nerf, and we're like, we're kind of shit again. But then we got that 50% BSR Katana Shower, which CCs. For anybody who doesn't know what that does, it CCs. It's an AoE CC, which is really good. I think it has an unlimited, I'd have to double check, but like an unlimited cap on how many people it can actually CC as well, which is pretty crazy.
Float, right, is the CC?
Yes, it's a float. So, I'd say, we're either upper middle tier or lower top tier. Still really dependent on AP though in large scale because we are still very unprotected. It's fantastic if we get a lot of CCs with Katana Shower and stuff. But if we want to do literally anything else for the most part in terms of damage, we're unprotected. So I mean, sure, if you have enough AP, you can fucking swing out a Serpents and maybe Shadow Stomp and kill like 5 people, which is awesome. But I mean, you need, depending on the tier, you need like 265, 269, 270 AP for that. If you want to get away with shit like that, if you're like maybe even 251 going into like tier 2s or shit or something, then you're really not gonna perform as well as other classes, which puts you like more mid tier, I'd say.
Right.
So large scale is very AP dependent. I could have summed that up a lot
So
faster,
if you're
sorry.
block jump, you're doing all right.
Yeah. Yeah, any ninja that's fucking high AP, of course they're gonna frag out.
Okay. And then where Rezlar don't be mad at me. Where do you feel Berserker is in 1v1 small scale and large scale?
It's a hard class because I would say Zerker and Tamer are like somewhat... Tamer's becoming a little bit more understood now at least, so it's kind of changing. But I'd argue that Zerker's probably one of the hardest classes in the game to be top tier at. Because they are like ridiculously unprotected. They don't really have amazing damage until high AP as well. And they don't have like a super clear role in large scale and we're talking about other than Q buff, obviously. Q buff, they're just terrifying for like 30 seconds. But I would say they're like talking about the same skill, I would say they're like upper mid tier to lower top tier in terms of 1v1 and small scale. Small scale actually in 1v1. Small scale actually, yeah, I would still say upper middle tier to lower top tier. Large scale, I'd probably say like flat middle tier, maybe even bottom middle tier. Unless
I need you and Rezlar are both off the podcast.
You and Frosty are no longer friends.
We're no longer friends, dude. Okay,
what,
Zerker.
You think they're busted or
not
something?
busted,
or what?
but
Zerker has been
right now.
So Zerker has traumatized Frosty, and
No,
he
it has not
trying
traumatized me.
He has been trying to pitch this idea of Zerker as the most busted class in the whole game for like 2 months now to me.
First of all, it's really good in 1v1s, although I can see its weakness against Tamer, Ninja, and Sork specifically. I think those are really hard matchups for Zerker. And I do 100% accept that Zerker's a really hard class to play and master and be good at. Like, bad Zerkers are obviously bad, and they're really easy to kill on just about every class. But in like the siege scene and node war, like 100-man node wars, the tiers have changed so dramatically in the last like 6 weeks. Like the most sought after class outside of Wiz Witch is good Zerker. Period. Like Zerkers frag out so hard compared to everyone else with and without Q buff now. Just because the CC on the cannon, yeah, because they sit in the backline now. Now they like kind of like a lot of the Zerkers and Black Rose just kind of understand that their role. So you move with the main ball, but you stay in the back, and you have a couple people protecting you. So if people do engage you, it's more like small scale fights back there. And then when your Q buff is up, which in Siege is up almost every single engagement because of 60-second death timer.
True.
So every time they're up, even when you kill and win a fight, 60 seconds later, your Q buff lasted 30 seconds. The cooldown's already begun. 60 seconds later, they're up, and then you're basically able to Q buff again.
No, I completely understand. I was talking more without Q buff. With Q buff, in terms of large scale, I guess I didn't take the time into consideration that pretty much it's always up because of how long large scale lasts. So yeah, you're right. I mean, I can totally. The amount that it CCs too is ridiculous. Like, if I get knocked back even 3 times in a Q buff spam on me, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, with that much damage, and I'm getting knocked back 3 times, 4 times, like, holy.
It's already been nerfed. What do you want?
Oh my god, dude!
I mean, wait, how is it nerfed? Like what? Like
It supposedly
the damage?
removed
How's it nerfed again?
knockdown off of Flame Buster on cooldown, but I don't even notice a change, dude. It still bounces me over and over and over again. So I have no idea what that changed.
Because they didn't remove.
We were all watching me and Inflict, right?
They're fucking idiots, and they didn't remove the down smash. They only removed the knockdown while it's on cooldown. So essentially,
and that down smash is gonna land if you're shooting people 9 times in the span of 2 seconds.
What is the Flame Buster cooldown?
Flame Buster. Well, no, it's not Flame Buster cooldown. It's the Ancient Power cooldown, which is god, I don't even know. Let me check. I think it's like 11 seconds or something. I want to say.
So yeah, over the course of their Q buff, it comes off cooldown 3 times, basically.
Yeah, with down smashes just being, peppered in there.
It's crazy.
Hey, it's only like a 30% chance. All right, calm down.
Yeah, I know a 30% chance, except once you get knocked down that one time, you're hit with it 3 times. So 30% chance 3 times in a row. It's like going for
let's
try.
See here. So Ancient Power has a 13-second cooldown.
Yeah, so it's just I don't have a problem with Zerker. It's just I can't listen to Zerkers anymore say they're not good in large scales. I just start laughing. Large scale. It's crazy. It's like Warriors saying they're not good in 1v1s. It's the same feeling I'd get.
How many Zerkers say that Zerkers are bad in large scale now, though? I don't think there's that many.
Any Zerker that doesn't say they're not... Actually, there's not... I mean, I don't know a single Zerker besides you, Rezlar, that doesn't think they're top tier. Like Yed, Oak, Zune, Choice, Grab, they all think Zerker is like the absolute best in large scale. You're the only one I've ever met.
Above Witch and Wizard? I refuse to believe
obviously,
that.
PA is a whole nother beast. But
That's
you remove
different.
PA,
Yeah.
you know,
Utility.
like then you're talking about something completely
If you
different.
remove PA, then there's an argument to be had. If you're saying
I
all the
said,
classes
I
except
clarified
for
early
Witch
on.
and Wizard.
I clarified early on, but you know how hard it is to get a guild full of 100 Wiz and Witch?
Yeah, but
Yes.
here's my thing. Here's what I'll say. If you're saying that the best top tier like siege classes, excluding the Witch and Wizard, because obviously 1 and 2,
Yeah.
then I think there's definitely an argument to be made for Berserker.
Right.
I don't think that it's de facto that they're number 1. I think you can make an argument for it, and a
I
very
agree.
strong argument at that. But
I don't think it could be argued anymore. It's
I
done.
think there's still an argument to be made, man. That
I
there's
mean, who?
other
Like,
classes.
what class? What class has
Archer,
more
dude.
utility? Maybe Archer. Archer still needs time to develop, though, and for people to show that it's like great, right? So that actually may be
and
possible.
the fact that they're still so early on in learning about Archer and it's performing as well as it is in large scale is like really telling, honestly.
Yeah. No, that for
Yeah.
sure could, but that would still, it's still a few weeks away, and I don't know why. For some reason, Archer doesn't seem that popular. Similar to Zerker, I guess, but I don't know why. I don't run into Archers that much.
I don't either. I think it's because a lot of them get discouraged in PvP while they're leveling up. Because me personally, you know, I know that I'm like, I'm just an average PvPer at like grind spots or some bullshit like that. I'm like, you're basically average player. So like when I run, and obviously I'm a ninja, but I don't really I have never really had a difficult time with an archer at any grind spot, and I haven't really heard of anybody really having a difficult time with an archer at a grind spot. So they just get discouraged and they don't reach that like end game or end skill point or like anywhere near the skill ceiling, except for obviously a few.
Let me introduce you to my friend Cinny.
I'm so down. I'm so down to fight like good archers.
281 AP Archer. That dude.
Okay, well, okay. That's different. Like I understand if I'm getting killed in like a CC, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But they have to like get that CC.
Yeah. Well, speaking of balance, let's talk about Ninja. That's the class that we haven't really touched on a lot. So first and foremost, let me pitch you my idea of the new log jump, Layvan. I want to pitch you this idea.
Okay.
So first of all,
Right.
let me explain to you one thing first and foremost. I think Ninja is okay right now. I think since the removal of the CC on Blade Spin, they're fine. I still complain about them when I die to them, but that comes from the heart and not from my brain.
I got you.
So I think they're okay. That being said, log jump is one of the most infuriating skills in this entire game to have to play against. And it's not even necessarily the CC that bothers me, although that is annoying at times. What I truly hate about log jump is the fact that you pop it, right? And you basically get like a second and a half to decide like what you want to do in this situation. And to me as a berserker, and even as when I was a warrior, it was the same thing. That ability to just sit there and then choose, do I want to pop up and instantly grapple? Do I want to disengage? Like, what do I want to do? That is the most infuriating thing in the entire world. So, my pitch for the new log jump is, I think, and I've said this for a good couple months now, I think that log jump should just be basically an insta-cast. Instantly it happens. You no longer do you get to sit completely out of the fight, iframe for a second, 2 seconds, whatever it is. You pop it, and then it pops you. It still CCs, that's fine. I have no issue with the CC, although it is annoying at times. You pop it, the CC goes off, you instantly appear behind them, and then you can go in the grapple or not. And what I think, in that opinion, what that makes it do is it makes it much more skill-based than sitting there for a second to 2 seconds deciding what you want to do and then lining up the log jump on whoever's nearby while they're trying to run away for their life or else they'll die. Very much becomes more of a you gotta land it or it's useless, basically, type deal.
That's interesting. I would actually argue that that's a buff.
Really?
And yeah. For a few separate reasons. I think that you would run into a lot more problems because let's say you're playing I don't want to talk. Okay, sure. We'll use warrior. Let's say you're playing warrior. And you notice that a ninja has the ninja strength in the block jump, and this is obviously my opinion, and I'm not even my opinion. Like, there's always different sides to this, and I'm by far not the most knowledgeable ninja at all. But in my opinion, the strength in block jump is getting it off as fast and as possible, and unpredicted. That is where the strength in block jump lies. Is how fast you can do it and unpredicted you can do it is where the strength is. So if you're forcing people to do it as fast as fuck and pretty much unpredicted for the most part, well, you've just helped the ninjas who are poor at casting it and doing that. Because let's say you're a warrior and you notice a ninja's block jumped and he's sitting in it. Okay, hold Q, and then the second you see the ninja get out of block jump, iframe, and then you can counter CC immediately. When I fight good warriors, that's what they do. And very obviously, there's always things like ping or resist or stuff that you can, throw in there to try to wedge my argument. But when I fight good warriors and I take time and block jump for whatever reason, they always either get out of range immediately from wherever the fight was, so I can't block jump on them, or they hold Q and they wait. And if I do, in a very bad decision, decide to say fuck it and block jump on them after they know I'm in block jump, they literally just instantly iframe, and then they CC as soon as I come out of it because it's unprotected, and then they can get like a grab or whatever, and I'm fucked. So, because like knock or nightmare is the same thing with Sork, because they can sit in nightmare and come out of it. They can sit in it for as long as they want. And be safe.
But my issue...
It's not quite the same, because...
So Sork and DK have similar abilities, but there's no grapple that they can instantly combo into. That's my counter-argument for those two. But...
So hard CC directly coming out of block jump is what makes block jump better than like nightmare and everything?
I think the grapple specifically, right? Because grapple is the strongest... You can't say otherwise, although I suppose you could make an argument for suck, but I don't think it's true. Grapple is the strongest CC in the game.
No, for sure.
And the fact that it's you basically have the ability to
vacuum,
grapple.
actually.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's an argument to be made for vacuum, but let's just go with grapple because vacuum is a whole other thing entirely.
You're right.
The grapple is so strong. The fact that they get to instantly appear behind you and then chain that into the strongest CC in the entire game is, a little ridiculous. And to clarify, I don't particularly have an issue with people that land the block jump. I have more of an issue with the people that I feel like if it was made an instant cast and they had to be aiming it perfectly whenever they casted it instead of sitting in it, that if they landed it on me, I'm like, okay, they landed it and that's fine. They actually landed the skill instead of they sat in it for 2 seconds, were able to, just kind of like watch me from a safe space, not having to panic, not having to be like, oh shit, what are they doing in this moment? They literally got to sit there for like a second and a half, 2 seconds, and be like, okay, now. That part bugs me specifically as a class where all I do is go for grabs, and I'm constantly having to worry about what is the enemy doing? What are they doing? What situation do I need to be grabbing in? I'm always having to pay attention to what the opponent's doing whenever I'm going in for a grapple. Because if I don't, I might get CC'd, I might get bursted, who knows what might happen. It's especially difficult against classes like, for instance, Sork. Like, one of the most annoying things that I used to do, and I see, like, newer Zerker players do all the time, is a Sork's charging up the Grim Reaper's Judgment, and they just think, oh, I'm just gonna run up there and grab him. Never works like that, dude. You run up, you think I'm gonna run up and grab to him. The second you get close enough to him with that lava piercer and you go for that grapple, they just iframe behind you. They get that Grim Reaper's Judgment off. Even if it doesn't CC you, it's taking a good fucking chunk of your health. So it's like the ability to just not have to worry about, oh man, what's gonna happen if I don't land this grapple, or what's gonna happen if I have to time this grapple perfectly, because there's going to be dire consequences. Like, I feel like there's not that panic there, but I don't play ninjas, so I can't really get into their headspace, but that's just, as an outsider looking in, I'm like, that part really bothers me. It's not necessarily block jump itself. It's more the fact that it allows an easy combo into what I would argue is probably the easiest grapple in the game, honestly.
I need to make 2 quick points. One, please, can we never, ever, ever, ever compare Nightmare to Block Jump? Because the speed, the slow speed in Nightmare, it's just not comparable. You can't. You have 2, you can actually see the start of the animation of Nightmare and react to it with a skill and CC them out of it before they go completely invisible. Like, that's really hard to do. You can do, with Block Jump, you could see the animation and CC them coming out of it, but not going into it if you saw it and you weren't already using a skill. You know what I mean?
Well, absolutely. I was
But-
just talking about the the beam
Right.
disappeared part.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is I don't have any problem with ninjas and kunos being able to make a decision on whether they want to appear behind you, next to you, away from you, and having a couple seconds, because it's not even as long as Nightmare. I think it's only 2.5 seconds you can stay in Block Jump, or 3 seconds or something. Nightmare is 4 full seconds, and you can move. But I'm with you, Layvan, what you said earlier in the podcast. I just wish the stiffen was removed, because I think that the way like desync works and bugginess works, there's just too many instances where a character will teleport, dash, or flash away, or iframe away, and even though they're nowhere near where the block jump comes out, because it has stiffen, they get stiffen. And like that, just if the stiffen wasn't there, you wouldn't get those lucky ones. You would just get the skilled ones where the block jump lands behind someone and then they grabbed you in time because they were just faster than you, you know?
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. I agree. That's why I think if you take away Rezlar, the how long you can stay in block jump, they wouldn't nerf ninjas at all, because they would still use it as an iframe, because our pre-awaken grab, it used to be an iframe, and sometimes I would even cast my pre-awaken grab. Like, for example, if I was about to get hit by a Source Grim Reaper, I would actually just cast my grab, even though I wasn't anywhere near them, but within range of their Grim Reaper, just cast it immediately, and then I would iframe that slash, and then I would go in on them, and that would confuse the fuck out of them, because I'd just be standing right there and it just phased right through me, like it just materialized through me. And that's exactly what the new block jump you propose would be. We would still iframe shit, and we would probably iframe as soon as we got out of it again. A good ninja, that is, obviously. So it wouldn't nerf good ninjas at all.
But that's my point, though. Like, that's exactly my point. I don't mind being, like, block jumped or whatever by good ninjas. I don't like the bad ninjas that get away with shit for free. Like you guys were saying, like landing a lucky stiffen if you're, which that more often is attributed to desync, like Frosty was saying. But I feel like bad ninjas also benefit from being able to just chill for that, like, second and a half or whatever it is, and be able to just make a decision that, I mean, oftentimes results in an instant grapple. Again, I really think block jump into grapple is literally the easiest grapple to land in this game, in all honesty. But, I don't know. Again, I have no issue with, like, even if it does result in a small buff to good ninjas, my issue was never with good ninjas in the first place. Like you were saying, what you do is you go for the insta grapple, block jump into the insta, nothing personal kid, appear behind you and grapple. I've never had an issue with that. I find it annoying how they sit completely protected, able to make just the most, like, calm decision of their life, whether they want to instantly grapple somebody or just completely disengage and scurry away invisible. That's what I hate.
I think Layvan, though, was saying that it'd be the opposite. It wouldn't affect good ninjas, it would only buff the bad ninja. Because right now, if a bad ninja does it, and they don't know how to block jump really quickly, you see the block jump, you can just move out of the way on any class. There's not a class in the game that can't just move away from a bad ninja's block jump. But if you made it instant, you don't have that chance to move away anymore. Or you have less of it, much less of a chance.
But they have to hit it the second they're using it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's easy. I mean, anybody can do that, honestly. If it's a tap target thing, you just have to look at it's almost even easier. Because the second that my reticle turns red, boom, block jump. Instantly. I don't have to, like, think about it. Or or if they mess it up, like they could. Oh, if they like, because sometimes people are like, wait a second, or it would just be a buff to bad ninjas completely. For sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
fair
I mean, my only thing is like I just don't like on Zerker. You guys have a lot of like nice movement. You only have to move a little bit. The reticle range is so low, so if you see the block, like you can just move.
All of our movement, aside from cannon jump or lava piercer, is unprotected.
You don't. Yeah, but you don't need protected because they can't. Like if you see them block jump, you have a moment where you can decide to get out.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
I guess if your internet is not good, you have no time at all whatsoever. But
See,
yeah, I don't know. I think like the stiffen thing would help.
Frosty tries to look at things. Layvan, you wouldn't know this, but I have literally the world's worst internet at this fucking house. It's so fucking bad. And so every opinion I come with, Frosty says like, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And then he has to kind of put things with my internet in mind, and he goes, actually, I guess that kind of makes a
Yeah,
lot of
he's
sense.
getting punished by block jump so much, dude. It's probably awful. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I don't know. I just think even then, because the grapple is still like you could resist the grapple, or if you're far away, the grapple is a lot harder to land than the AoE stiffen. So I think you would be saved a lot more often than you think if the stiffen was removed.
I wouldn't mind the stiffen being removed as well. There is a lot of times where I'm like, wait, what? How did that just stiffen me? And then
Yeah.
they teleport behind me like 5 miles away, and I'm like, wait, what is what is occurring?
Yeah, you're
Like that does happen quite frequently, in all honesty. But yeah, I don't know. Just that ability, that combination, just something about it. At this point, I don't care what. That's the only thing that I really despise about that class, honestly. And for the record, Layvan, I never had an issue with blade spin. I wasn't like I never really had that much of an issue with it. Frosty really did. Frosty hated that fucking ability.
For the record, blade spin was the worst thing in the whole world. Layvan, do you feel bad? Do you feel like Kunos needed to lose the stiffen on tendon cutter? You think that was a...
No. I think it gave their class... It separated their class from Ninja. It made it a completely different class. Like, if you wanted to be really good at large scale, then you would more than likely choose Kuno. And if you wanted to be a better duelist, and of course this is always interchangeable, you'd maybe go more Ninja. Well, Kuno's a lot more of like spatial movement, and then Ninja's a lot more linear movement, in my opinion. But no, I don't think that stiffen needed to be removed on Tendon Cutter. I think it was cool they had a trap ability. I think it was cool that, it is cool that it was such a big AoE because it helped him in large scale. I don't know. I didn't seem too broken to me. Maybe what they could have done was maybe just raise the cooldown on it because it's an iframe. I believe, right?
No. It was a super armor. Super armor. You could still take full damage in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if it's stiffened, you really wouldn't want to go in.
This is my thing with a lot of the changes, like the CC removal, especially because for a long time they kept protected CCs in pre-awakening. They left that stuff alone. And then now they're going through and removing all that as well. But a lot of these, like when I really think about it,
and they gave
just
one to
needed
Warrior
a longer cooldown. Honestly, like Twisted Collision, they removed Frontal Guard from Twisted Collision on Mystake, which I totally understand because it was really, really strong. But it was really strong because it was a 4-second cooldown. So like, just make it a 15-second cooldown, and then they only have Frontal Guard for one quick skill once every 15 seconds, and then it's not really a huge deal. Like now without it, I don't know. It's like, I can't complain for Mystics. I know everyone hates Mystake, but it's such a weird thing because Mystake lost it because of the Sea Burial cancel, and Striker still has Frontal Guard on their Twisted Collision. It's insane to me. I don't get it.
Which, Layvan, I'd like to throw pitch number 2 at you. I come up with pitches all the time. Whenever they first removed the protection on Twisted Collision for Mystake, I've been a long time proponent of the Nerf Striker camp. And I always thought after that change, I was like, why don't they remove the super armor from Striker's Mass Destruction? That way it actually results in Mystake and Striker playing a lot differently in their pre-awakening.
Is mass destruction the one where they punch?
No,
No.
it's the one where they
It's
do the
Rage.
slide and then the stun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because those are the two abilities that Mystic and Striker had in common that they use a lot because they were both protected and they CC'd. They removed the protection from Twisted Collision on Mystic but not on Striker. And in my head, I'm like, well, Striker, like, I truly do believe something needs to change about that class in 1v1. That class is oppressive as hell on 1v1s. And I think a nerf to Mass Destruction, like, whether it be the CC or the protection on it, would make sense because having both of those abilities be both protected and CC doesn't make a lot of sense, and it would make it different from Mystic. It would actually make them two very, very different classes in their pre-awakening kits, more so than they already are. I understand there's a little bit of differences in their classes and the pre-awakenings, but it would further the changes between the two, you know?
No, I understand. The couple things that I guess I would say about those two classes would be, or at least problems that I've run into personally with PvP in those classes, and what irks me about them, I guess. And this isn't like, oh, I demand these changes, or like, oh, this is busted. Just like literally personal things that get me, and I still work around, but just that get me. Just so nobody thinks I'm like making these wild accusations or something. I would say, I think that the range on Striker's CCs are a little bit ludicrous. Like their uppercut, the uppercut that they have. I swear I'll be grinding at like trees, and if a Striker casts that at Fogan, I'll get CC'd. Like I swear to God. I swear to God. Like that is the range on some of those CCs are insane, because it doesn't allow you to go in for an attack and escape at all. Like you go in, and they have a huge buffer zone. They could basically get to play in slow motion, because like even if they're slow to react on something, the AoEs on their abilities make up for their slow reaction time. I'm not saying Strikers have slow reaction time. I'm saying they have that buffer. They have that safety,
Right.
I guess. And then on Mystic's spiral, the spiral where they dash at you, that's
Spiral
what's that
torpedo.
called? So yeah, spiral torpedo. Sorry, I'm a little bit iffy on. I'm a much more visual person when it comes to abilities, mostly because I've never played any other classes.
See,
really,
me and Frosty are both
them all the time.
re-roll-a-thons, so we know a lot of abilities.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm super visual. Like I see it, I know exactly what it does. I mean, maybe even cooldowns, but like names, I'm still kind of learning. But that, I think that just needs to be either one or two things need to happen with that, and that is, please, they say it's unprotected or has like a front. Wait, is it unprotected or has a frontal guard?
Whatsoever.
Okay, bullshit. I swear to God, I've definitely caught some Mystics in it for sure. I mean, it's definitely unprotected. Yes, I've caught some Mystics, sure, but I swear, if I cast an unprotected ability, and while a Mystic's casting that ability, they win almost like 99% of the time, and I think it's because of the hitbox. The hitbox is insane.
It's two things. So I was testing this actually with a friend. So it's the hitbox is one. So if the skill touches you before your skill touches them, obviously you lose that trade, right? But the other thing is if your hitboxes touch at the exact same time, if I cast Spiral Torpedo first, you lose. You lose that trade. So if all things are completely identical and the CCs hit each other at the exact same time. So I was testing this with another Mystic for a little while, where we would Spiral Torpedo at each other, and the rule was almost like 99% of the time, it was whoever cast the Spiral first wins the trade. The other person gets CC'd. So if you're reacting to Spiral with an unprotected CC and you guys hit each other with CC at the same time, you just lose that trade straight up.
Yeah, and that really hurts classes that don't have protected CCs a lot.
Sure.
So
my biggest
if you're fighting
my
a Mystic,
biggest issue with Spiral Torpedo / Spiral Cannon on Striker is the fact that even when you S block it, it doesn't matter. Because it just goes right through, hits you in the back, and CCs you anyway. Which, by the way, I thought CCs were only supposed to be on the first hit of abilities, apparently we don't follow those rules anymore. It's like, it's so frustrating to be like, okay, here comes the CC, I'm gonna frontal guard it. Oh, I got CC'd anyway because I got outplayed, question mark? Like,
Well,
no, you didn't get outplayed.
To clarify, it is still on the first hit of abilities, but the rule is on the... So, the first, like, couple weeks when that happened, do you remember, like, Tamers were complaining because the trap no longer CC'd anyone? Because it was literally the first hit. But somewhere along the lines, they ninja changed it to where now it's the first time you are hit with the ability. That's the only time it can CC you. So if multiple hits of Spiral hit you, only the first one had a chance to CC you. So at any point in the animation, it can CC you the first time you're hit by it, if that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining that right. But it actually was...
Yeah, like a clear hit.
Yeah,
not a
it
frontal
actually
guard hit.
was horrible. Like, I don't know, Tamers, like, the Tamer forms were just like, wait, I can't CC anybody. Like, they would use the Tamer trap. Yeah, you just literally wait, and then you could walk through the Tamer trap unscathed. And somewhere that changed. I don't remember exactly when it was, but now it's like, wait, the Tamer trap CCs you anytime now. And they never even put that in the patch.
And I'm fine with that change.
I don't have an issue. Well, I mean, I know I'm playing Mystic right now, but even like when I'm on Sork, I don't have an issue with the Spiral Torpedo or the Spiral Cannon, just because you can... It has a really... Yeah,
it's hella telegraphed.
telegraphed. You can react
it's super
to it,
telegraphed.
Like, pretty well.
No, I mean, it would be... I really actually don't really have problems with Mystics. The only thing that I have... my true problems with Mystics... I still think Spiral Tornado should... I think that if you're frontal guarding, it should stop the Mystics in front of you, and they should keep slapping your frontal guard. Because that would just be consistency. I mean, do I have a problem with it? Like, no, it's not that difficult to get around that ability. But I'm saying that change
must be
would make
nice
it more
for you
consistent
iframe spamming motherfuckers to just be like, oh, press this one button and
true.
iframe out of the way real quick and don't have to be CC'd.
That's true.
He's a ninja, and even he's complaining about it. So I don't know what. I mean, you could super armor move. I can't.
Again, there's only 2 abilities that we have that are protected movements.
Doesn't matter. Like, it's such a long cooldown, or it's a short cooldown. You can do like, you can react to Spiral. No Zerker is complaining about Spiral.
You can react to it.
No, I'm not complaining about it whatsoever.
You can absolutely
I'm just
react
saying for
to
it to
it.
be
You're
consistent.
right, but I'm just saying that I agree with Layvan. I feel like if I'm frontal guarding it, then that's a decision that should result in me not being CC'd because I'm using my protection that was given to me. It doesn't make sense that I use my protection that was given to me and then I get CC'd anyway because fuck me. Like, that just doesn't make sense in my mind.
You used a frontal guard, and any time you use a frontal guard on something that, like, I don't hear people complaining about, do you want Violation also to lose? Or to have collision? On Sork, it's the exact same rules. No, it'll just pass right through you, ignore your frontal guard, and CC you if you're just blocking.
The only time I get violation is when I'm on the ground, so I just assumed that it was like whatever.
Yeah, well, it's because it's unsafe. It's super unsafe to use. And the same thing is with Spiral Torpedo. It's like a calculated risk. You have to, whenever you use it, you have to know you're going into it and it's risky because you can just be CC'd.
Right, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a redeeming quality, or even something that's substantial with Mystic. Just something that would be more it would have more consistency among the game if it were
also
tweaked. Is what I'm saying.
I'm not 100%, but I'm 90% sure Spiral Cannon doesn't ignore collision. Spiral Cannon actually does have collision unless you're on the ground. The Striker one.
No,
that's interesting.
That's right.
Here, I'll tell you right now, because the Mystic one specifically states in the skill that it ignores collision, and the Striker one doesn't. And I'm 90% sure Strikers, that was one of their complaints with it, because the Striker version before the CC changes had frontal guard. So if we did it into each other, like, they lose, or if they use it into something, like, because it's only frontal guard, they'd still get CC'd out of it. Hold on, let me look. I'm pretty sure theirs does have collision. You can't pass through a target with it unless you like go through the side or something. But let me just make sure.
My only true problem with Mystic, would be vacuum, and that's it. I mean, I can't really imagine really anything else bothering me about the class at all, other than vacuum. And the only reason why
towards the CC limit.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Well, there's kind of two reasons. I think it's kind of insane that it goes through iframes. It's like how like it not only does it make stuff super buggy, like when you try to iframe it. Like if it just trapped you if you're iframed, okay, like sure, fine. It goes through iframes, whatever. But like it makes them extremely buggy and it like just absolutely just fucks you over if you try to iframe it a majority of the time, unless you're just maybe have like insane internet or some shit like that. And then the fact that it doesn't count towards a CC limit is crazy considering like let's say a Mystic does their entire combo with you on you and then they hit you with that like mini Gravedigger that they have that puts all those debuffs on you. And then while you have all those debuffs on you, sure, go ahead and try to get away. They're going to cast Vacuum right away to keep you there. And then congratulations, they can do an entire other combo on you now. Immediately after you just got comboed and you couldn't get away because of Vacuum and a slow. Like, that's pretty crazy. But again, nothing that I'm saying is like, it's broken, fix it now, it's insane. These are just like tiny little changes or like little thoughts that I think should be addressed, at least officially or something, just so there can be slightly more consistency, and small tweaks are always better for like, more understanding or like balance, you know what I mean?
Yeah. My only complaint with vacuums is that it doesn't count towards the CC limit. I don't understand why we implement these rules, or I say we. Perlibus implements these rules, and then they just say, except for this one. This one, it doesn't follow any of the rules. And it's not Mystake alone that does that. I mean, the Valk does the same thing, doesn't follow the rules. And there's other aspects of this game that don't follow the rules either. For instance, the Zerker 3 grapple desync. There's just certain things that don't follow the rules, and PA seems to be completely okay with certain things just not following the rules. And it's like, well, then why the fuck did we implement these dumbass rules in the first place? Like, what's the point of following these, or implementing all these new rules and making everybody change their playstyles, and then, like, half of the shit, you're just like, we don't really care about it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm
not
saying.
with
Just
either you on
consistency,
this.
so it'd be like easier.
The problem is
more.
If you want to
shocker, the person with the suck doesn't think the suck should count towards the CC
I
limit.
have 2 sucks and they both work different ways, so I'm with you like on the consistency thing. But the reason why the iframe thing, like one of the reasons why I think that the iframe doesn't work in like a Valkyrie vacuum or the Mystic one is because when it does, like, Sorks literally don't use Black Hole anymore in large scale. It's just not a thing. You lock Black Hole, now that you can go through and actually lock it, you lock Black Hole and you use Grim Reaper Judgment. There's not a single class in the game now with the way movement works and the C and everything that you can't just walk right out of Black Hole. And if the same was true for the vacuum on Mystake, it would be useless. Like, and the other thing, if you're going to add it to a CC limit, then the player needs to actually be CC'd. You shouldn't be able to use any skills or move or anything at all. You can't use your skill. Your character should be completely debilitated if it's going to count towards the CC limit. In its current state, you can use skills. You can wait until it ends and then you can get out. And what a lot of good players do that I find, because the Mystake is CC'd during it as well. I can't use any other skills. You can't cancel it. You can't get out of it. And it doesn't CC you at the end of it. It doesn't. It's just a super armor. And you're stuck in the vacuum. You both are basically stuck together. Sort of like puts you guys together. A lot of players will do, like, let's say, I'll just give a couple of examples. If I'm against a Zerker, I just get grabbed. I actually don't like to use it against good Zerkers. But if I use it against a Meiwa, they'll nuke me in the face and save their dash until the end of the animation. So they'll use one hard-hitting skill or a slow right in my face at the start of the vacuum, and then at the end of the vacuum, they'll dash out. And the Sork, same thing. If a Sork can, they'll use like Engulfing Shadow and Shadow Ignition right in my face, and then at the end of it, they'll iframe out. Or a ninja will Serpent Ascension right in my face, like just some high damage skill that casts quickly, or Blade Spin or whatever, and then at the end of it, they'll go step out. So, like, I actually try not to, especially in 1v1s. In large scale, it's a lot more effective, but in 1v1s, like, the vacuum is like an emergency. If they're down to 1% health or 5% health and you think you can get them with one, like, big nuke at the end, try to sea burial after the vacuum or something, like, that's all you can really use it for. Otherwise, it's a huge risk. If you're both at full health, I'm going to lose that trade with a Meiwa. Like, I just have nightmares of, like, fighting Nude in history. And I don't know how good Nude is, but when we fight, anytime I vacuum him, dude, he just blows me up. I am basically sacrificing 50% of my health to cast a vacuum on him. So I don't know. But yes,
I see that.
I'm
I
fine
see your
with the
point.
CC, like, add it to the CC limit. But if they do that, then you guys actually have to be CC'd. You shouldn't be allowed to use skills when you're in a vacuum.
No, yeah, I think that's absolutely fine. And I usually, whenever I do get vacuumed, it's usually at the end of a combo when I'm still on my back. So I guess I could Serpents. Yeah, like in front of their face.
It's a good ender for sure.
But I can't imagine me doing that much. Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing that much damage. And then if I do want to, like, try to leave right away, again, remember I have that slow on me. And they usually have their grapple up by the time the vacuum's done as well. And the Mystic grapple is super strong.
It is.
Or because we're in such close range, their Spiral Torpedo's hella good too, and with such close range. But again, I mean, this is PvP. It's a whole bunch of gray area, and I actually do agree with every point you made as well.
The Sorkball one, like, makes me sad, dude, because that one costs 100%. I mean, it's, like, hard to use. You know, it's a commitment to use, and Sorks are in large scale node war. You're so squishy. Like, it's so unsafe to run up and use just your block to try to cast this skill, and then it's super slow moving and people get right out of it. I actually wish.
I think that should be buffed. I can see
actually
that for sure.
I wouldn't mind if they removed the vacuum entirely from it and just buff the damage and make the AoE huge and have it sort of as like a zoning thing. Like, if you're in a large fight, you just throw the ball down and everyone that's going to sit and fight in the ball is just going to take huge damage.
Oh, I would actually love that. It makes shit less buggy because vacuums make everything buggy.
Yeah.
For the most part, blanket statement, and it would be a much more. I think and it would be better too.
Suicide
amazing zoning
fall
tool
during
for
a
sure.
Mystic vacuum is like the weirdest thing on earth. Like, you sit there doing that weird spinning, floating thing in the air until the vacuum timer would normally have run out, and then they're bound. Yeah, it's odd.
Well, that's just like with Zerker Predatory Hunt. Like, if you use Predatory Hunt, the little move where they jump up and then, like, slam it to the ground, protected, CC, whatever. If you do that and then you start getting sucked, it'll, like, glitch out, and basically it won't allow you to even land until, like, the suck is over.
Yeah, like, that stuff I would love for them to fix
so
for
weird.
sure. No doubt. I mean, it might even
relieve
some of the frustration if some of the weird glitchiness was fixed.
Yeah, and what's weird is that it's not even just the suck. Like I swear to God, it's seemingly random abilities will sometimes just, like, make me, like, stutter in midair in the middle of the ability and, like, make me take an extra, like, second or two to land for some reason. It's very strange. There's, again, to harken back to things we were talking about earlier when we were complaining about things. It's like there's so much stuff to fix in this game, and they just seem to be okay with it. It's like so frustrating as a player, as somebody who plays this game, like, basically every single day, to just, like, be like, yeah, that's just kind of how things are. It just kind of sucks. You just kind of got to play with it. Like,
well, I mean, it's like seeing like a super intelligent, like, smart student in like a high school, and they're, like, just so bright, and then they and everything, but they're just, like, in such a bad environment. They keep hanging out with the wrong people, and they don't want to better themselves, and they don't bother, doing a little bit of extra work. They're like, come on, like, you could do so well, like, you're so smart. And they're like, no, I'd rather just, I don't know, like, sell some fucking crack and some crack and make some mad money real quick so I can do this instead. You're like, but why?
yeah,
because, like, that's exactly what BDO is. Like, BDO, I'm not even shitting you. Number one, it's already top tier MMO, and it could easily be the best MMO, like, undisputed, on the market, without a doubt. It
No, I'm
it
with
really
you.
could.
I always describe it as like I
it's-
actually think if for people that love BDO, it's gonna go down for a long time as like the best MMO they've ever played, and it could be that for everyone in the general public if they fixed a lot of these issues. Not just people that already love BDO, if that makes sense. Like people that don't even like WoW can accept that like WoW was king for so long, right? Because it was so innovative, and BDO could have been that like that too,
absolutely.
and been in that rare air if they just fixed some of these really really stupid issues, and not have ever added melting costumes or artisans.
Yeah, they just need to listen. The Pro List just doesn't want to listen to their community, and I get that a little bit because the community is a bunch of. I've hardly seen a worse community ever. The amount of just disgusting things I've seen, but there's also just where there's bad, there's plenty of good, and they just need to sort that out and absolutely need to listen. But I just feel like they don't want to.
Yeah.
It's only like what you said earlier in the podcast. Like it's got to be a critical mass of people for them to even turn an eye to it.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, while we're on the topic of like the desync and just all the things that are wrong with this game, do you know how depressing it is to be casting the BSL and you see someone land a grapple just to appear behind the person, and then the person that landed the grapple gets like grappled and returned or CC'd or whatever, and me as a caster, I'm not allowed to go, man, that's some fucking bullshit right there. I just have to go, well, you know, this is super unfortunate, but it's just kind of part of the game. You gotta plan for stuff like that to happen. You know how fucking depressing that is?
No,
how badly I want to be like, dude, see, this is why this game is fucking failing. Like, this game could be so good if they fix stupid shit like this, but you're not allowed to say that when you're casting a fucking tournament to 500 people. So it's like, ugh.
Yeah, I die inside. You know, I'm doing Arsha, I get a stiff, and I'm like, oh yes, I just got a stiff, and can't wait to Serpents. Gonna get that float, gonna get this kill. Here we go. I cast Serpents. Oh, boop! They just teleported like an extra 10 feet away. My Serpents didn't hit. I'm still kind of a little bit locked in that animation. Oh, they're running at me. Oh, they counter me. Like, okay. Yeah. It sucks. It sucks with them, like, just... The desync is awful. That's client-side combat for you, though. I mean,
what? Force is disbanding. Man, everybody's disbanding lately.
Force?
What the hell?
Force. Oh, yeah.
I never heard of Force.
They just owned Serendia like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, really? I'm not up to date on like Siege. It's too
maybe it was longer
me.
than that. Somebody gave
him
like Serendia or something a while back. I don't remember, but man, I think that's it for the topics. I think this is now officially the longest podcast we've done. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. It's good.
Sorry about that.
Real quick.
No, dude, it was
right before we
fun.
close out. Should we talk about the death of Vertex? I'm just kidding. Sorry, that was toxic.
Can I get Fs in the podcast for Vertex, please?
Oh man, poor Vertex. I'm actually sad because they're a rival of our guilds, and I like having that rivalry. I think it's cool.
Yo, I was talking about how that kind of shakes things up a little bit, because now the top four... Mina was trying to tell me that Barcode is as strong as Cho Nation. I don't know if I buy that. I mean, I'd be willing to accept it with a little bit more evidence, but apparently they had like some open world fights at some point or something. Barcode was beating them. I don't know, something about something, but I'm still going with the idea that Barcode is quite a bit weaker than Cho Nation. So
I think they're
what's
close.
crazy is now the top
if
the top four form a 2v2. It's actually super interesting where people go, because they're so different, right? Like, it's very interesting.
Like the top four, including Snake.
Yeah, Snake, Black Rose, Cho, and Barcode.
Oh, Snake would ever 2v2. I think they would just...
But I'm saying if they did, that would be really interesting. That would be a super interesting fight.
I do, and I do feel strongly about this, but I think that Barcode is a lot closer to Cho than people think. But maybe not now, because Cho was, friends with Vertex, and a lot of Vertex members are going to Cho, so that's going to boost them quite a bit. But I think prior to Saturday, I really do believe that Barcode was weaker than Cho, but really, really only slightly. And now that's probably changed, so we'll see. Who knows?
How many tryouts are you being forced to attend now, Frosty, with Vertex breaking up?
We did have a lot actually on Saturday. It was Saturday. No,
Oh,
yesterday was
boy.
Saturday. We had a lot on Friday. Friday is what I meant to say.
Hey, if any Vertex members listen to this
you're in Hex,
podcast,
right?
Versatile's got some spots open, guys.
So Rezlar is in Versatile. That used to be Hex. I'm in Black Rose. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
so-
interesting though. I mean, it's crazy whenever a guild that size leaves, like Man Up or Vertex now. It can change a lot because it's a huge displacement in power that's going to be just like randomly distributed here and there. There's going to be a bunch of people that just quit. There's going to be some people that go to smaller guilds to help build them up. There's going to be people that just go to the next strongest guild or try to go to the retirement home that is Snake.
I'll say this right now. I don't think this is the last we've seen of Vertex.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think that at some point, maybe not soon, but maybe in like a year or something, I think the comeback is gonna start.
Nostalgia's always strong, and it's easy to recruit if you've had a powerful
you
name
got
before.
the name.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the death of a tyrant, man, it's crazy. Enemy dies in EU, Vertex dies in NA. Crazy, man.
Yeah. Well,
we're gonna have to call it there, I suppose. Layvan, thanks a lot for coming and hanging out with us, man. It was really fun.
Yeah, no problem. And I hope it was cool having my insight. And do remember, always just spitballing, and nothing is ever like absolutely set in stone and things of that nature. Also, so take everything that I said with a grain of salt. And I guarantee you, on some of the stuff I said, I probably messed up and said something fucking stupid.
Hey,
but that's
listen,
just me.
we're all just here, just hanging out, just talking. We're in this fucking podcast. We're all just playing BDO. We all got different experiences. We're all people with different pieces of information and knowledge and ideas, and the cool thing about things like this where people just come together and talk is we bring all those information, ideas, and whatnot together and have it out.
I do.
That's what makes it fun.
I do appreciate that you were so open-minded, Layvan, that you were willing to accept that the Mystic Vacuum needs a buff, and soon.
Shut the fuck up, fucking David.
Real quick before we end it off here, Layvan, I do want to ask you, how does it feel now knowing 1000% sure that you are the number one ninja in A?
Dude, fucking no. Please. Get that shit away from me. I don't want to touch anything like that with a 10-foot pole, man. I just want to play my game and
So, I don't know if you know this, but I was actually the Versatile Discord, there's a ninja in there known as Zarok, and he is very good friends with Block Jump. And whenever you beat Block Jump in the BSL, he was literally in our Discord like the whole time being like, he wasn't in voice chat, but he was in text chat talking about, we're all in voice with Block Jump right now, we're talking shit, and he's sweating bullets and shit, like, all this shit. He was so, like, nervous.
Yeah, he even didn't he change his Discord name too to like Layvan 2.0 or something, and his Discord name used to be Block Jump as a troll.
Yeah.
He's a fucking funny dude.
That whole thing was fucking hilarious. And yeah, I don't know, it's just shit talking's funny. Final question. Who do you think the best ninja NA is?
Spicy.
Spicy question.
I don't know, to be completely honest.
Who would you put in like your top like 3? Like who are up there? Who are ninjas you look up to?
I honestly don't.
Uh-oh.
That's a difficult question for me, mostly because like I'm just not very involved in the majority of the ninja community because I just don't usually agree with them. It's usually, obviously, of course, blanket statement, like I'm saying, but it's just an overwhelmingly toxic thing to be involved with, and I don't really have like, I've picked up things here and there from like good ninjas and whatnot, but I'm really just not involved in that community, so anything I say, it really wouldn't be accurate for the most part.
It's That's a fair cop out.
I don't have a valuable
That's a
opinion
fair
at all.
cop
Yeah, that's a
out.
totally fair cop out. I'd buy it.
Well,
we've all learned stuff from Mazap and Danum. I mean, pretty much almost every 90% of anything Ninja has fallen down from those two and maybe like a few others. So I mean, we can all just point to them.
the
and say
predecessors. Yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
I feel the same way about my favorite Zerker of all time, and still, I think if he played Zerker today, he'd probably be the best Zerker in A. Is Ozimir, in my opinion, the first great Zerker in A. Dude was insane. Wish he still played Zerker.
And
Layvan, would you be interested?
wait,
in,
I can't do my Mystic one? Dildo Dragon,
No, because
dude.
all Mystics are trash.
Dildo Dragon, who we all look up to.
Nobody looks up to Dildo Dragon. He's a gear-carried monkey.
Is that just the person with the biggest face?
Oh
Is
my!
that who the best Mystic is?
Layvan, would you be interested in doing some 1v1s with us, man? Last time we had Nyashi on here. I don't know if you know him. He's a Meiwa, and a damn good one too. And we did some 1v1s after the podcast for everyone to see. Would you be interested in doing that? Oh yeah, man.
Sure.
We'll put those. I'll slap those in right now. So if you're not watching the YouTube video, just skip this portion. Skip I don't know, probably 10-15 minutes ahead.
No,
This is just gonna be.
Listen to the music.
This is just gonna be music for you. This is just gonna be background music for you. So I'm gonna slap these fights in right now.
けどそれ以上に育っていってやっぱり環境がそうさせてしまう。だから今受け入れられるべきなんじゃないんですか。
新選組を離れて療養した方がいい。空気のきれいな場所でゆっくりと。
新選組を離れる。それはできません。
just a legend. Just a story. A story to scare little kids. But
wow, weren't those fights incredible? I probably got my ass kicked. Maybe Frosty fought as well. Frosty, I don't know if you want to fight. You want a piece of that?
Y'all don't want this, dude.
Y'all don't want this, he says. Maybe Frosty fought. Who knows? Only the future will know. But yeah, thanks a lot for coming on, Layvan. It was really, really fun. And maybe if something ninja happens, or maybe if you end up winning the whole BSL, we can have you on again. We can just keep talking about random shit, because this was awesome.
Sure, dude. I'd love to have you over on my end of things as well. That'd be cool.
Oh, do you have a podcast or something you do?
Yeah, I've been away on military duty, so it's been on hold. But if you go to my YouTube, you don't have to include this in your podcast. I'm just talking to you now.
No,
but,
I was actually about to say,
we'll
go ahead and tell all the people where they can find you at.
My YouTube is Layvan. My Twitch is Layvan, and my podcast was called is called Smokescreen. I started it probably 2 months ago, but I've had to take a break because of military duty, so it feels bad. But I'm back actually now. Hopefully everything's cleared up about this week.
Cool.
So I'll be back.
Oh yeah, man. I can't speak for Frosty obviously, but I'd love to come on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure to. You can find Layvan the links to his Twitch, his YouTube, all that stuff. You can find all that stuff down in the description. Layvan, make sure I don't lie about that, and make sure I put that shit in there. So if you want more of Layvan and all of his red ninja antics, you can catch him at those places. You can also find him in the BSL. He participated this past week, and are you participating in the next week? Do you know?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
I believe so. So you might be able to catch him at the next week's BSL as well, and that's on Saturdays at the BDO Esports Twitch page. So make sure you go check that out as well, and cheer him on as he fights all the other ninjas and tamers and shit that are just all over the fucking BSL. And Warriors, we can't forget about Warriors.
You're still helping cast that, right, Rezlar?
I don't know if I'm doing next week. He literally just asked me like the day before, and he's like, "Hey, you want to do it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." So cool. I have no idea. Not next week, but the week after, we'll probably have another very special guest that I'm already in contact with. So I'm not going to say who, but be looking forward to not next week, but the week after's podcast. That should be another very good one as well. But yeah, Frosty, you got anything you want to say to the peoples?
Yeah, guys, add comments to the YouTube thing. We'll answer questions from there. If you have questions, or we'll read it aloud, so long as it isn't super toxic. And if the Reddit post is up, I'll look through those as well. But just make sure that you engage with us. We love answering questions and going through the comments and all that. If you have any recommendations, join the Discord. Don't forget. We have general discussion feedback there. We have topic feedback there, and also just people hanging out, shooting the shit, and showing off their upgrades and stuff. So come hang out in the Discord, comment, all that stuff. And yeah, I guess we'll see you next time.
Yeah, you join the Discord, you get to see Frosty post Twitch clips of him killing streamers.
Oh, poor double
Actually,
zero.
Not only killing streamers, BMing them.
I did not
BM. As soon as they pearl res,
I did not
with
BM
their
them.
last pearl that they have, he just runs over, murders them viciously, and he's proclaimed to be quote unquote a dick.
I did not know he was out of tears, dude. He complimented me, so I like him. Even though all the people from Black Rose were talking shit, I was like, what? This dude's so nice.
But anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment talking to us about, what you thought. There's a lot of ideas in here, so try to make sure you clarify as to what exactly you're referring to whenever you drop your comment. And hopefully we'll see you next time. And yeah, you guys have a good one. See you next week. Alright, last fight.
Alright, ready. Oh, fucking god. Oh, you bitch. Wait, what happened? Where'd you go?
He escaped.
Did you leave the VA, you fuck?
No, he escaped, dude. I was like, I thought he lagged out too. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Well, you didn't V.
I'm back,
You
bitch!
God fucking damn it.
Yeah,
Oh
I win!
my god. I should have fucking whale potted or something.